How'd it go yesterday? Did you have anything yesterday? Golf or something? Nothing?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's lunch, Smitty.
Yeah, he's great. He's killing it.
That's awesome. He's doing the upscale real estate, right?
Well, he's doing real estate, but he's doing much more upscale than I am.
Oh.
David, how was the call?
You know what? Besides the fact that they plugged in the equipment wrong, and the midway through the pregame show, and Artist Gilmore shows up. Apparently, Artist can.
Gilmore?
Yeah, he went to JU.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And so he showed up midway through the pregame show and decided he was going to, be the analyst, because Artist Gilmore can come and go and do as he pleases. So, okay.
Did he call you the right name?
He did. Okay. Trent, you'll love this. I did one game with him in March, and the guy he normally works with is named Scott, and he called me Scott until the fourth quarter. And I had written down, okay, and it reminded me of the second game I did with Aikman. He called me Mark the whole game. Okay. And so I had written down on a piece of paper for him my name. And finally, in the fourth quarter, he realizes, wait, I've been calling you Scott. And I go, yes, you have. He says this on the air. And he goes, I'm sorry. I go, hey, they're winning. I go, don't change a thing. I go, don't leave your seat. Don't call me by a different name.
That's great.
I said, I'm a superstitious sports fan. This is working, Artist. Let's stick with it.
I wanted to use one of your calls for the play of the day. I was telling Mark, but
couldn't find anything on the internet.
Couldn't find anything, and it was a blowout.
Really? 91-54. You're going to use my call? They're going to end the play of the day. You keep this crap up. Holy.
Oh, my God. That'd be
How about Stammer turning back time last night?
Oh, four-bagger.
That's what we're using.
With a hat trick in the third.
Great call from Michigan. I just have to.
He's a screamer.
Cut her up. Yeah. Do you guys think Staley gets fired today or no?
Staley thinks Staley gets fired today.
I mean, the only reason I ask is because it's the Chargers ownership and they might wait until the offseason or something stupid. Herbert's out. After that performance, I feel like you got to just call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
63 points. Oh, man.
42 at the half, 49-0 early third. Golly. 63-7 early fourth.
Yeah, I had to watch for fantasy implications, but other than that, I was playing against Zay White, and of course, he had a great game.
So how many people you think had Aiden O'Connell? You know, that they're that desperate in fantasy, that's who they're down to, or nobody?
Nobody.
Yeah, that's 4 TDs.
I don't think. I mean, he might be on a roster, but I can't imagine he's
right.
Playoff team.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it went in our league. Someone had him.
And didn't play him.
It was a week too late, though, because he was starting him all season. Not all season.
Had him last week for 3-0 loss, though, right?
Yeah, yes.
Right.
Exactly. That's how it goes.
Look at Adam trying to remember the good old days. That game reminds me of when we beat Marino in his final game, 62-7. See,
why can't that guy sound like that game reminds me?
Adam's given the Trent treatment.
Give him the
that game reminded me.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. It is still a Football Friday.
Football Friday.
How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network. untitled.com. Thanks so much for being with us. Hope your week has gone well. And if not, well, we'll end it on a good note. At least that is our intent. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
Doing great this morning. Fired up for a weekend of football. Good sports night last night. A lot of good hockey going on. And there was a football game.
Apparently there was. At least one team showed up. The other team said, you know what? Our season's over and we're tired of this coach. We don't care what we put on tape. Hold it against us. Don't sign us. Don't care. We're done with this guy. Oh, boy. You know, you don't even see this much in college football anymore. You know, when you and I were growing up, back in those days, I mean, you'd see like Oklahoma and Nebraska in a Big 8. You know, they'd play Kansas and, oh, well, you know, what's the final? 63-7 Nebraska. And they weren't even doing anything special. Hell, they threw the ball 4 times. You know, that was last night. The only difference was they threw the ball a little bit, but I couldn't believe it. I was busy last night, and I looked at my phone, and I'm like, hold on a second. Does that say 42-0 at the half? What? I took my glasses off. I used my shirt. I cleaned them. I put them back on. I said, I'm going to reset the phone here.
The Raiders were shut out in their last game.
Yes, they were.
I mean,
4 days.
That needs to be brought up.
4 days earlier. Not even 7 days earlier.
Right.
4.
Hey, what are you guys talking about? They're 35 points a game in their last 2.
I went to bed around halftime. I was done watching that game, but I'd throw that hockey game on. I was watching a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I'm like, you know what? It's been a long week. I'm going to bed.
I'm Christmas partied out.
Right.
I can't take it much more.
So it was in the 40s. It was, you know, and I woke up this morning and still had a little bit of shock to see 63 in an NFL game.
And hell, they took their foot off the gas.
Right.
They had 10, 11 minutes still. They were like, let's get this thing over with. Yeah.
Feel a lot better about my divorce right now with the Chargers.
You ended that marriage just in time. But here's the problem. They're going to go out and get another pretty girl again. You know,
I know.
They'll get a new coach. And what if they actually get a coach? Because it's not like people don't want that job. First off, some people really like the idea of living in Los Angeles. Some people don't. Some people love the idea. That's number one. Number two, coaches love the idea of a job with a quarterback.
Seems to be quintessential to having success in the league.
So, I mean, if they really wanted, see, this is where actually I think the owner could still be a little cheap. He could look at a Belichick or somebody else and say, I know you want money. I'm going to give you something better. I'm going to give you a quarterback.
Well, I mean, Bill's been a lot better when he's had one than when he hasn't.
Yeah, even him. Yes. Mm-hmm. No, seriously. Yeah, I know you want 7, 8, 10 million a year. Wouldn't we all? Tell you what I'll do. I'll give you 5 million and a quarterback. What do you say? I mean, if you think about it, I actually think the Chargers owner would be on the right side. You know, you can go somewhere. You can get Sean Payton money. Absolutely. And you know what? I wish you the best. Or you could make half and I'll give you a quarterback.
Right. Enjoy Washington.
Right. Yeah, no, you can go $10 million.
Right.
Dresser with Magic. He's fun. Great smile. Okay. I've met Magic. Okay. He really great guy to be around. You'll love it. Okay. Yeah. And besides, you don't even have to do any press. He'll do it for you if you want. Oh, no, it'll be great. Oh, you make all the money in the world. Absolutely. and you get Sam Howell. Or here's my counteroffer. I'll give you half. You can come work in the city that Magic owns, where if you're semi-successful, he'll even show up at the game. And I'll give you a quarterback. What do you say? Think about it. Don't think about it too long, though. I got a list of guys banging on the door who want this job. And I'm offering you $5 million a year. I'm not even going to offer them that much. But for you, I'll make an exception. What do you say? I don't know. I'm talking myself into going, wow, this is a good job. Why is Mark divorcing this team? I'm about ready to go marry myself to this team.
I understand. But it is a job that may be open today.
And that's according to the guy who currently has the job. Are you going to be the coach tomorrow? I don't know. Well, that's the 6 seconds we're looking for. There you go. That's the 6 seconds we're looking for.
Whereas Bill in his presser, when he was asked repeatedly about not coaching, just said, on to Kansas City.
Right. Tell you what, he does have a way with the media, doesn't he? It's a gift, actually. And his best buddy there, Nick, okay, he'll just look at him and say, you guys are rat poison. They all remind me of Parcells in the mid-'80s. Giants were starting to have success for the first time. And the media is coming at him. And he said, you guys are commies. You are. You're like communists. It's why I don't deal with you. And see, you say that when you're losing. You're a blank and this, and then you got to be fired and what have you. You say that when you're winning, Mark. You know what the media did? You're funny.
He's a character.
It sure is. Boy, they got themselves a coach finally. Helped he had a quarterback, 2 lines, and one of the greatest defensive players of all time. But, okay. So, wow, 42-0, 63-7, early fourth. The Raiders went over for the game at the half, right?
Yes.
Yes, just for the Raiders.
Yeah, that game was in the 30s. 34, I think, something like that was the over-under, and the Raiders covered that mid-second. Yeah,
there you go. Then in the second half, they threw in a couple defensive scores. Well, like we said, there was nothing worth playing in that game, fantasy-wise, yesterday. Nothing at all. Nothing to see here.
Raiders defense scored in the 30s. Devontae Adams had a monster game, and if you played Aiden O'Connell, you're going to win your playoff game.
And how many of you are sick to your stomach this morning because you played Aiden O'Connell last week when they lost 3-0, and so you benched him this week when he threw 4 touchdowns? We know. We would have done the same thing, okay? Don't beat yourself up over it.
It's where Doc says, I'm not right all the time either.
Yep.
It's sports. Didn't think there'd be a lot of offense in that game, but then again, we thought maybe the Chargers defense would attempt to play. They decided not to.
As DC points out in our Twitch chat room, how good is the Vikings defense? Man, they had to go to bed last night, or they're waking up this morning going, man, we are good. We shut those guys out.
Bring on Detroit. Wait till we take them down twice.
Yeah. Jake Browning better watch out. He doesn't know what he's facing. He's facing the Purple People Eaters. We are back. Can we go back to calling them that, actually? All right. Does that sound hokey, or does that sound like, wait a minute, why have we stopped calling them that?
Do we really have a defense that could be considered a people eater these days?
I don't know, but I have to admit it. I mean, what the heck? I mean, once the Purple People Eaters, always the Purple People Eaters? No. Last week we shut out a team. I mean, for a week, can't we be the Purple People Eaters?
I think you could use it as a headline.
PPE. Is that what we start chanting?
I think you'd be on your own. They've got a chant there. It seems to work really well with the Vikings faithful. They don't need any other chants.
I have to admit, in person, that whole skull chant works. Okay, we've talked about how Sundays are not Saturdays in terms of just all the pomp and circumstance and the pageantry, but there's a handful of places that actually have a college feel. And while Minneapolis doesn't have a college feel in and around the game, that 10 minutes before kickoff, it does. You're like, oh, wow, this joint's jumping. This place is cool.
So upon further review, they don't need to chant PPE?
Well, after they get done with the skull and they blow the horn. Okay? And after they're done with, and then all PPE, PPE, PPE. No?
Uh-huh.
Well,
Okay.
I'll work on it.
Well, let's just hope you've perfected Trent's voice for today.
You guys made a good point on air and off yesterday. I got to pick a voice. I have to pick a voice. Here's the problem. Because he's young, I can do that younger sounding voice, this little soft, squealy, whiny, what have you. But
Irritating.
Trent has a really good set of pipes, period.
Right.
Never mind for a 24-year-old.
Right.
Right. So it doesn't really work.
The energetic, you can get a little hyper because that's when the age shows.
Right.
Whenever we go into his wheelhouse, if the Lions go, right there when we brought the Vikings up and I said, watch out, Detroit, his head just popped right up.
Right.
He's in full on jersey and hat today.
Oh, wow. It is a football.
Whose jersey are you wearing again today?
DeAndre Levy.
Number 54, David. That's what I'm dealing with in studio. Miller and Moulton, Football Friday. Thanks for listening.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Florida.
Have a Molly Christmas, a Molly-made Christmas. Give your family a gift of a clean house. When you're looking for professional house cleaning services, you want to make sure that you find a team that can accommodate your budget, schedule, and cleaning preferences. Molly Maid is proud to provide thousands of families across the country with industry-leading services tailored to their specific needs. Call Molly Maid today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So Stamkos scored 4 goals last night, and he was on the ice for less than 15 minutes.
They got outshot like 60-25 last night.
Tampa?
Yeah.
Oh, they just put him in, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. That's crazy.
Shots were like 57, 26, something like that.
Wow. Yeah, Paul, that's a good one. Everyone's complaining about the officiating this year, rightfully so. But they affect the game last night? No.
Hey, Canada Relief, are you in here yet? I got serious stuff to talk to you about. Apparently in 64, the Canada's House of Commons votes to approve the red maple leaf flag. What did they use before that? Nothing. Nothing out of any of you.
Yeah. Go Raiders.
Here we go.
Sam Edmund.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. The starting five is coming up in a little more than 15 minutes' time. Lee Sterling makes his picks on some bowl games. Coming up at the top of the hour. We'll talk a little golf next hour as well. Bob Harig of Sports Illustrated. Nothing going on in the world of golf right now. Nothing at all. Nothing to see here. And it's a Football Friday.
Football Friday. Sorry, I didn't hit the button in time.
That's okay. And we'll make our picks and talk about the games, including 3 on Saturday. We know many of you are running around on Saturday. Busy day. Got to get stuff done.
I don't know how much you're going to get done in the state of Florida on Saturday.
I know. And I think a lot of us were planning on getting a lot of stuff done this weekend, and it is not going to be easy.
It's going to be ugly.
It's going to be a mess. Yeah. In fact, you may want to go and try to get something done after work today. I know, traffic and the crowds and what have you. Don't know what to tell you. Tomorrow's going to be messy. NFL. Some people may actually find NFL Network tomorrow. Wait, where are the games? What? Yep, I know. Hey, can I go off topic for a second?
Well, since we didn't start with one, I think you got any topic you want right now, David.
I thought the topic was football and then messy weather. So, Mark, it's been a hell of a week for politicians getting involved in sports. It started with our attorney general in Florida. When you see injustice, Mark, no matter where, no matter who it's at the expense of, one must step in and stop it.
Leaving that in and of itself right there, that's a beginning of a great speech.
It is.
If you leave the whole Florida State football thing out of it,
right,
it sounds like she's actually running for something with it. When you see injustice, no matter where, you must step in. You've got my attention.
Right. The problem was right before that, she said, as a proud lifelong Gator.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, well, wait, what does Gator have to do with injustice? Wait, what are you talking about? You're suing about Florida State being left out of the playoff? Oh, boy. Okay. Well, that's how the week started. Is City Council last night, St. Pete. I went through this with my favorite football team. The Giants moved in the mid-'70s.
Right.
They moved to a very original place. They called the Giants Stadium. And it was in Jersey instead of playing in New York at Yankee Stadium all those years. And there were Jersey politicians, because they built the stadium for the Giants, who are like, listen, you're not the New York Giants. You're the New Jersey Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it was like, oh, for goodness sakes, lighten up, Francis. Okay. But they were serious. And for 1 year, okay, the Giants actually occasionally on the helmet, you saw an NJ. They had the map of Jersey at midfield. It was kind of like, come on now. I'm from Jersey. I love everything about Jersey. Stop it already, will you? It's just a more convenient place to play. Well, the folks in St. Petersburg, and by folks, I mean some politicians on the city council, they're like, hey, enough with this Tampa Bay Rays crap. You're the St. Pete Rays. And the Rays went, excuse me? Yeah, you got to change the name. This ain't working for us. You know how many millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars we're giving you? Because when everybody sees Tampa and Tampa Bay, do you know what they think of? They think of Tampa. And we got to get our bang for the buck here. Our tourism. We want people coming to St. Pete, not Tampa. The Marlins went from being the Florida Marlins to the Miami Marlins. I could go through the list. You got to change your name. And I got to give the Rays some credit. The Rays said, yeah, we'll walk away from this stadium deal tomorrow. I mean, they did not try to placate this at all. They said, no, we're out.
Placate it? They didn't blink.
No, we're done. I know we held the presser.
The St. Pete City Council there made a check raise, if you will. They thought with a pair of queens,
that
they were going to make a big bet and just scare
exactly
Tampa, and they're sitting with ace king. Maybe not the best hand right now, but they got 2 cards that beat anything that's down there and said, okay, I'm all in.
Yeah,
How do you want to play this?
exactly. Right now. Yeah, no, I'm all in right now. I'm
All
not
in.
even going to
Pre-flop.
all in
Let's go.
right now. Yep. You take those jacks and shove them. Now, I'll give one of the politicians credit. They said, they're not serious about walking away from the deal. That's it. It was an extreme reaction. The Rays are like, no. What part of we're done? We're out. We're going to Nashville, Portland, Orlando. No, seriously. No way. Not for a second. No. We're the Tampa Bay Rays. We took the devil out of our name. That's it. That's all we're doing. We removed the devil. We closed an upper deck. That's it. Those are all the changes that we're making while in the Trop.
And we're not taking cash anymore.
Yes.
We are a credit-only team.
Right. But no. That's cute. I appreciate what you're doing. We'll run some more ads for St. Pete tourism in our games. I don't know. You want a sign at the ballpark? Fine. We'll give you a sign. The whole behind home plate, the revolving dashers. We'll work in some St. Pete tourism if that's what you want. But you could take those jacks or those queens. You think you've got a winning hand? Let me tell you. You won't even be the second best hand at this table when we get done with you.
As 2 other players pop up named Nashville and Portland going, our hand's not bad either.
Right.
In case you lose, Tampa Rays, how does Portland Rays sound? You can keep the Rays for all we care.
You were sitting at that poker table, and Orlando was sitting in the corner. They hadn't placed a bet all day. They just kept anteing. All of a sudden, you make your play. Okay, Rays go all in. Hell, Orlando goes all in. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Here you go. St. Pete Rays. So I got to admit, those are the city council meetings I want to be at. Hey, did you guys televise this? Can I rewind that and watch it?
Some good local access TV right there for you, David.
Yes. Wait a minute. Did the Rays say not a dime? Okay, not a dime. They're out. We'll cancel this whole deal.
And the part of it that's great is that the city council person or people who decided to do this felt really good about what they were doing heading into that meeting.
Yes.
They had talked to their family. They'd talked to somebody and said, you know what? Damn it. I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you're right. You know what? They should be the St. Pete Rays.
Yeah. If they're the Miami Marlins, they should be the St. Pete Rays. Until the Rays said, we'll move if that's the case. Honestly. And what they didn't say was, well, if you insist, we may move to Tampa. We'll just start, you know what? We'll call up, Vinnick and anybody else. You know what? Forget all the things we said. What's the best damn deal you guys can come up with? It doesn't even have to be a good one at this point. Can we just keep the name and the uniforms the same? St. Pete Rays.
What are they moving to Russia?
I was going to say, you want us to move spring training here? We did that already. I mean, what do you want? Golly. So, found that entertaining.
How can you not?
What a worse day. Brandon Staley or the St. Pete politicians?
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologist, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. Oh, you mean we've got bowl games this weekend?
Yeah, starting tomorrow.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You just stumbled upon that, huh?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. Lee Sterling will join us at the top of the hour. Mark Miller just came to a startling discovery right before we came out of break. Hey, Mark, what happens tomorrow?
There's bowl games tomorrow. Well, I got a text from a friend, actually, the guy from Molly Maid, Steve,
Right.
who's the franchise owner here locally. And he sends me a text, and I happened to be at the wife's Christmas party, and I ignored it because I was, being arm candy. And he just wanted to know if I wanted to get into a bowl pool. And I don't, because I have no idea how you pick bowl games anymore. The amount of work you have to do to see who's opted out, who's in the game, who's playing quarterback, for crying out loud, for some of these teams.
Well, just wing it. I mean, my
Just
mom.
wing it?
Yeah, just wing it. My mom used to be in a pool at work in which there would be a guy every year who would do Mr. Left and Mr. Right. And that's what he would do, however it came out. And basically, Mr. Left was all the road teams, and he would just pick all the road teams. And Mr. Right would pick all the home teams, and he'd pick all the home teams. And there were years in which either Mr. Left or Mr. Right won the pool.
And you know what? Mr. Left, Mr. Right, congratulations. This one costs a little more money for me to just go Mr. Left or Mr. Right. I'm not ready to sacrifice a quick C note and say, hey, Mr. Left, how about you play this one?
Well, spend your wife's money. Okay, don't spend yours, spend hers. That's just an idea.
You know what I did? I opted out, like many did from bowl season, David. I opted out.
Well, can't blame you.
I'm in the portal.
The players aren't playing, so why should I?
Yeah, there might be something to that. 20 minutes before the hour. It is time for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
number 1 is the NFL. Maybe that's my new Trent voice.
That could be. I have no idea why you mock your own segment.
It's probably the time of day. I mean, I'm just, the world is so serious. We're just trying to get the day off to a light start. Because when you think light, you think 2 middle-aged, 1 fat, 1 guy who's gaining rapidly. That's the show you want when you think light. Mark, Las Vegas scored a lot of points.
They did.
42 at the half. It was 49-0 third quarter. 63-7 in the fourth. The Raiders beat the Chargers 63-21 to snap a 3-game losing streak. Aiden O'Connell, yep, you had him on your bench in your fantasy team. I don't know why. I mean, they were only shut out 4 days ago. I mean, you didn't see him throwing 4 touchdown passes? But he did. The Raiders also kicked in 2 defensive scores as well. So there was a whole bunch about the Raiders you could have played last night. Hey, Packers running back A.J. Dillon. Matt LaFleur won't talk about his injuries. A.J. Dillon, meanwhile, was asked. He goes, yeah, I got a broken thumb. So that could be a break, pardon the pun, for the Bucs, who are in Green Bay. Because, Jones hasn't been able to play for a while. And if Dillon's got a broken right thumb, which is normally the side where he carries the ball, you try to grab something and hold on to it with a broken thumb. Just try.
Thumbs are important. Kind of separates us from the rest of the animal
kingdom. Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So the Vikings are going to be without running back Alexander Madison. And boy, oh boy, they soured on Joshua Dobbs. It's one thing to bench him, but hell, they made him the third string quarterback now. Rookie Jaron Hall's now ahead of him on the depth chart. Wow. All because he hung Jefferson out to dry and he got hurt on that pass. Jefferson, by the way, expected to play. Where are we going here? Number 2, college football. Quarterback Jalen Milroe of Alabama announced he'll be returning for his senior year. Speaking of Alabama, they hired, oh no, wait, can't make this up, former Michigan linebacker coach George Hilo, who was let go before the start of the season. Now, technically, the guy who replaced him was not Connor Stallions, okay? But you may see some stories in which they claim that. That's not who became the new linebacker coach. It was somebody different. By the way, that linebacker coach got in trouble and had to be replaced, but that's a whole other story. But there you have it. We ain't playing around. You know, we need more information on Michigan. Well, there's a guy we had as an intern 11 years ago who was on their staff up till this season. Really? Hire him. Oh, okay. Now. All right.
You steal signals, we steal coaches.
Yeah. So there. Hey, I'll tell you what, though. Mark, your new football coach at Michigan State, you and Trent both. I mean, you got to like this guy. Did you see the move he made yesterday?
Yes.
All right. So your guy went to Oregon State.
Right.
Okay. And like helped take him to a Fiesta Bowl. Then, as coach, he reestablished the program. So he leaves his alma mater for Michigan State. And yesterday, he takes 5-star freshman quarterback Aiden Childs with him to East Lansing.
I mean, one that was a kind of a done deal. He didn't accept the job without having NIL money to bring the quarterback with him.
No, I know, but that's his alma mater. He's doing it too. I mean, come on now. It's your alma mater. I mean, what about well, I can't do that to them. I could do that to any other school, but I can't do that to them.
Yeah, I guess I didn't. It was a foregone conclusion because 24/7 had this as 100% over a week ago.
That's cold. I mean, that is cutthroat. That is wow. Are you okay with it because it's benefiting your team, or do you think? Because I have to admit, there's a part of me that's like, listen, I can't do that to my school.
Why?
Well, because come on,
I'm getting paid $4 or $5 million to win. My best chance to win is to have my quarterback come with me.
Well, there's other quarterbacks out there. I mean, I can go get somebody else
in East Lansing. Have you seen the quarterback play there for the past few years?
Well, no, it has not been good the last 2 years. It has not. And speaking of Oregon State, them in Oregon have decided we'll play football at least the next 2 years.
Good.
They've moved some things around, and they can work in the Civil War for at least 2 more years. So there. Number 3, Major League Baseball. The Rays are trading Tyler Glasnow to the Dodgers if and only if he'll sign a contract extension with the Dodgers. If it happens, Glasnow and outfielder Emmanuel Margot will be traded for a right-hander who made his way to the majors last year, Ryan Pepiot, and outfield prospect Johnny DeLuca. Let's hope Johnny DeLuca is half as good as Tommy DeVito.
Boy, Johnny DeLuca sounds like he should be in the backfield for DeVito.
Hey, who's DeVito's favorite receiver? That's DeLuca. So, and as we mentioned last segment, those on the St. Pete City Council, they want the Rays to change their name to the St. Pete Rays. And the Rays have said, we'll move before we do that. You can take this new stadium deal and what have you. Credit to the mayor of St. Pete. He came out and said to the city council, you guys are nuts. And by the way, this deal's a lot more than just a baseball stadium for the Rays, okay? There's hundreds of millions around it. This is to revitalize an entire area and boost the city. Enough already. Number 4, The NBA. The Heat playing the second of back-to-backs and shorthanded at that, and Chicago was waiting for them. The Bulls got their partying out of the way 2 days earlier, and they opened the game, did the Bulls, on a 33-8 run and held off the Heat 124-116. Celtics unbeaten at home, they're now 12-0. They beat Cleveland 116-107. Celtics have to go back-to-back tonight when they host the Magic. So can the Magic do to the Celtics what the Bulls just did to the Heat? Is it time we start taking the Timberwolves seriously? They went into Dallas last night, fell behind by double figures, came back and beat the Mavs by 18, 119-101. T-Wolves are 18-5. Are we taking the T-Wolves seriously? Are we taking the Magic seriously? We're going to hold off till the end of this year on the Magic because their schedule the next 2-3 weeks is hard. We'll find out whether the Magic are pretenders or contenders by New Year's Eve. I'm starting to buy the T-Wolves, for the record. Golden State fell to 10-14 last night. They lost to the Clippers, who won 6 in a row, 121-113. Harden scored his 25,000th point. He had 28 points, 15 assists, 7 rebounds. He can still play a little bit after all. Hall of Famer George McGinnis died yesterday at the age of 73. He left Indiana after 2 years at a time when players didn't do that, in the very early 70s. And he was a bit of a ABA pioneer. He's in both the ABA and the NBA, all whatever team. And Hall of Famer George McGinnis died at 73. Not much college hoops last night. Gators struggled with East Carolina, but held off the Pirates 70-65 to improve to 7-3. Jacksonville improved to 7-4 with a win over Trinity Baptist. And FIU beat FAU in women's basketball 65-62. Number 5, the NHL. Steven Stamkos turned back time last night.
Did you pause to laugh in your head right there?
I did. I'm laughing at myself.
I could tell. It's the one great thing that Twitch provides is you can see right inside us. Yeah. And right there, David amused himself.
I just stopped and I said, "You're an idiot. You know that? You're a moron." Number 5, the NHL. Stamkos with 4 goals. He had a natural hat trick. He had 3 in the third. Tampa Bay snapped Edmonton's 8-game winning streak. Vasilevsky with 53 saves in the 7-4 win. It's not often you give up 4 goals and your save percentage is like 93%. No Hedman last night, and it showed defensively. Panthers got shut out in Vancouver 4-0. Carolina edged your Wings, guys, 2-1. Paul wants to know in the Twitch chat room, has Stamkos gotten a contract extension yet? The answer is no. And at 9 minutes before the hour, that was
the starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
Gear up, Mark. Myrtle Beach Bowl at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Followed by at noon, the Cricket Celebration Bowl. 2:15, we go to New Orleans for the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl at 3:30. The Isleta New Mexico Bowl at 5:45. The LA Bowl at 7:30. And the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl at 9:15. We have 7 bowl games tomorrow, Mark. 7. We could do a Super 7, just never mind the 3 NFL games tomorrow. Could go nuts.
There's 7 bowl games tomorrow?
I just read them to you, the times and everything.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. Every single one of them on the ABC, ESPN family of networks. Yes. Yeah. By the way, biggest point spread on any of those 7 games is 6.5. Well, but Sometimes you get big mismatches and what have you, but for whatever it's worth, Vegas is saying we think these are at least competitive matchups on paper. I know it's very important to you.
Whew. Georgia Southern and Ohio, huh?
Yeah. Now, I didn't give you the teams that were in. Remember, there's 117 bowl games, so we're going pretty deep down the pecking order here as teams to fill out these games.
I mean, you do get UCLA and Boise.
Right, in L.A. I don't even think UCLA fans will show up for that.
You guys should pick every single bowl game.
No, I won't do that to our audience.
Do you think you could go 60% if you picked every bowl game?
Believe it or not, we've done that in the past, and we've done that before. We have. Now, are we doing this against the number or just straight up? Speaking of the number, that's what Lee Sterling's all about, and he is next.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone, on 5th Avenue in Naples.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. David, help me out. I only have 6 bowl games. You said 7. I've got the Myrtle Beach Bowl.
Celebration Bowl.
Well, I don't. When is that?
It is noon tomorrow. Howard and family.
Oh, okay. They don't even have that on my list. That's why.
Maybe it's because it's FCS schools.
Yeah. Okay.
But Mark, there's a point spread, so it counts.
I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm just saying I'm on score.com and you're going 7 bowl games and I'm looking at 6 and I'm not going to do it on air. I'm just trying to figure out which one I was missing. Lee.
I guess Stroud's not starting because the Titans are a 3-point favorite over the Texans. Somehow I don't think that'd be the case if Stroud was playing. Do
Right?
you?
No. God, the Lions are a 4.5-point favorite.
I know.
I don't like that at all.
Uh-oh. He just texted he's logging in. There we go.
Wow.
Morning, Lee.
Good morning. Took almost 8 minutes. Crazy.
It is nuts.
I know. It's like dial up.
Want us to squeal in the background for your AOL account?
Oh my God. Crazy.
How
I
you
don't know what
doing?
it is. Before like 7:30 in the morning and after 6 o'clock. It's the craziest thing ever. So
All right. Hope you're doing well.
I am. This is supposed to be the last segment till before the Super Bowl. Got any exciting plans coming up?
I'm working. Mark's traveling.
I'm going to Pittsburgh for Christmas. I don't know if I'd call that exciting, but
Relatives, right?
my mother-in-law, my brother
yeah.
and sister-in-law.
No,
But
no
I'm taking in the Steelers Bengals game. The bad part is there's no Joe Burrow. When I
Right,
made plans for this, I planned on seeing a Joe Burrow.
Jake
and a
Browning.
Here we go.
Jake's pretty hot.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
And it's this day and time where we have brought Lee Sterling to you, and he is finishing up on a roll on this show. Back to back to back, 4 in 1 weeks, 4 straight games of his week, right? Finishing strong, which is good because he's got 134 bowl games he's got to pick beginning tomorrow. Lee of Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com, 800-400-9741. How are you?
I'm good. I went and saw Channing Crowder last night. I think it might have been getting filmed for some type of TV or something. Channing Crowder Unfiltered at a comedy club. So supported Channing. I do his local show here in Miami. So
is he funny?
He was good. There was some. I'm glad I didn't take my wife.
So it was unfiltered, is what you're saying.
Oh, his dad was sitting in the front row. If you know his father, Randy, you know the stories of his father went to Penn State. I forgot about that. All-American. Remember, his father gets arrested in a drug deal. His career was shortened with the Dolphins, but talks about growing up. Like I said, when I was young, it was like videos where if you saw like an X movie, you got excited. If you saw like a triple X, in your dad's collection, you're like, wow, this must be this is between double X and triple X, some of these stories. Put it that way.
All righty then.
But a good time.
Let's get
good time.
Let's get to games. They're more PG-13.
Right.
We can do that on this show. Let's get to the games. They're more PG-13.
Right. Let's go to the PG-13 section of the show now. Okay.
Right. But
all right,
Josenko was there. There was quite a few ex-players, and just good to get out. And I had an easy game. I didn't have to. I was looking at my scores, and I had the Raiders, and I'm like, wow. Once it got to 28-0, I'm like, I feel pretty good about this game.
All right, let's start with the bowls. All right, and you're going to pick your Canes against Rutgers. It's a virtual pick 'em. Miami's a 1-point favorite in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Gotta say, it used to take me like 25 minutes per bowl game, break it down and decide who I was picking. It takes me 25 minutes just to find out who's playing now. I mean, it's nuts. It's gotten a lot tougher. I'm going to take a different approach to this game. Ja'Cory Brown's going to play quarterback for Miami. He hasn't taken a single snap. Gavin Winston is quarterback for Rutgers. They've lost their top 2 receivers and tight ends since the start of the season. Both defenses pretty good. I'm going to go under 42 total points. I think that's a better way to approach this game. Some 41.5, but I don't think weather's going to be too bad, and that's the extended forecast. But low-scoring game, you couldn't pay me $1,000 to go to this game. It's at Yankee Stadium.
All right, Georgia and Florida State. If this was a 1-4 game, I'd be really excited about it. I'm not as excited about the bowl game here. Georgia's laying a big number, 14 against the Noles.
Someone came up with a theory that, or it's a theory, but they said that Florida State should go through the warm-ups, get into the tunnel, and then as they're ready to come out, get back in the bus and leave. That'd be pretty funny. You agree?
Well, I said I wouldn't be showing up, period.
Right.
And I would take all the heat that comes with it. I'd say, listen, you guys made a mockery of this. We're just going to finish it off.
Now, if I was head coach, I'd make sure I had the backing of my president before I did something like that. But I think they got shafted, and I'm a Miami fan. I can say it. Would I rather watch the 2 games that we're going to watch? Absolutely. But, you win all your games in a Power 5 conference, you should be. And the problem here is they're going to be playing with a backup quarterback. Top 2 receivers, Wilson and Coleman, are not going to be playing in this game. That's 90 catches, 13 touchdowns here. I don't see a path to win. I think it's tough to see a path for them to cover. So their defense is going to have to play lights out. Louisville's play calling and that ACC championship game was atrocious. I think Georgia here is the right side. I think they win this game 28-7.
All right. Texas, Washington, Longhorns, even though they're the 3 seed, have been the favorites throughout. The number now is 4 against undefeated Washington.
I respect Washington. I just don't think their defense is good enough to hold Texas off. Their Texas offensive line is very underrated. People are like, oh, well, they lost their top running back. Well, he was projected before the season to be the 3rd stringer. They got guys. They got athletes. They got like 5 receivers they can go to. Good tight ends. Just think that right now, their quarterback situation, Blake Ewers, he's playing at a high level. And once you get inside the 20 against their defense, the windows are very tight. They can play some really good man-on-man coverage. I think it's like a home game for Texas, too. I think it's going to be like 85-15. Texas fans are going to scoop up every available ticket. I like Texas 38-28.
The other semifinal, Michigan and Alabama. It's down to 1 where I see it, Lee. That started at 2, 1.5, 1. This is, it may be a pick 'em by the time the game starts. How do you see it?
I think Alabama might be the favorite by the time they kick off. So if you like Alabama, you play it now. If you like Michigan, you wait. So I never thought Alabama was great this year. I mean, their best game they saved for last, and Georgia didn't play great. They barely beat South Florida, got handled by Texas at home, and should have lost to Auburn. Think that this Michigan team might have learned something from the last 2 times they got in the semifinal and lost here. I like the fact that J.J. McCarthy doesn't turn the ball over much at all. Think that Blake Corum is under the radar. Last year, at one time, I thought he was the favorite to win the Heisman. I thought he was that good. And their defense, if they can get Alabama in some 3rd and long situations, I think they can have some success here. And this is crazy. Michigan only gets penalized 26 yards per game, 26.3 yards per game. Nick Saban is a head coach when he faces teams that are penalized 42 or less yards per game, 8-20 against the spread. teams that don't beat themselves. I think it's Michigan's time. I don't know who's going to win the national championship, but I think Michigan's finally going to get to a title game. I think they win and cover 27-20.
A lot of pressure on Harbaugh. All right.
Yep.
His teams have not performed well in these last 2 years in the semifinals. All right. Sunday, Packers, Bucks, a pair of 6 and 7 teams. Green Bay dealing with a lot of injuries on offense. Not quite sure the running back and the wide receiver situation. Packers 3.5-point favorites.
I mean, Jordan Love, you just never know what you're going to get. Even when he's getting on a roll, then he has a horrible game. I mean, he has 4 games, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, but the rest of the games have been clunkers. Head coach LaFleur, great in December, 15-1, but these two guys together, I'm not going to put my money behind them. I think that right now, Tampa Bay's bend but not break defense, good enough. Think that Baker Mayfield making plays, and I love the play calling. Better team on the road too. The Bucks here. I think the Bucks win another game. Maybe you have to pull another one out here. 23-20.
Be a huge win as they're trying to secure that division right now, tied and has the tiebreaker in their advantage. Any win for Tampa is going to be big, trying to take down the NFC South. Your game of the week is the Dolphins and the Jets. Lee, how do they get it?
Yep, I'll be there. Hopefully the weather subsides. Right now it looks like if it stops raining, it's going to be early to mid-morning. On Sunday, it's like I need Noah's Ark here in Miami. It's nonstop for the last almost 38, 40 hours. So you want to get that winner, be one of the first 5 callers, call 800-400-9741. Give it to you for free. A lot going on this weekend. Got UFC. I think it's the best card maybe in the last 4 or 5 years. It's stacked. There's 13 fights. Almost every fight is like a 2-1 or even money fight, and a lot of high-level fighters. There's no, Conor McGregor, but some really good fighters. Colby Covington. Almost even from the early prelims, the fights are great. 7 selections, including a rare 50-unit best bet, $57, and Double Down December. Get the rest of football through December 31st, 36 bowl games through the 31st, 3 weeks of the NFL. We've only had 2 losing Sundays this year, just $197, ParamountSports.com. And want to wish you, Mark and David, a happy, healthy holiday and your families and all the listeners out there. Hope you have a great time with your family, friends, and be safe.
Well, Lee, right back at you. Thanks for your contributions for, damn near all of our, if not all of our 17 years together. He's Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, ParamountSports.com. You can follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at Paramount Sports. The number to remember is 800-400-9741. Call right now for the game of the week, the Dolphins and the Jets. A happy and a merry, Lee.
Back at you guys.
Sterling, joining us once again here on Miller and Moulton. Couldn't pay him $1,000 to go see his Canes in the Pinstripe Bowl.
I understand. And it is just difficult to figure out who's playing in these bowl games, let alone who's going to win these bowl games.
And who's interested in playing in the bowl games. That used to be the biggie. Like the rosters were intact. We just didn't know if their hearts and souls were into it. Now you have to figure out who is actually going to show up and play, and then who really wants to show up and play.
Because every morning I get in here and get on X, and one of the first things I see is 40 players that are in the portal and where they're getting offers from. And it's not all big-time schools. It is the App States and the Miami of Ohio's. Those kids are transferring too.
Yes, they are. There are guys who transfer down, transfer sideways, and guys who transfer up. We all like to transfer up, right? If we can.
Right. And guys who get paid to stay because everybody else is left.
Well, it's not the worst thing in the world. Miller and Moulton. Bob Harig in 25 minutes. Is there anything going on in the world of golf? Anything? Bueller? Anything going on? Maybe a couple. We'll talk to Bob about some of the comings and goings in the world of golf. Miller and Moulton will make their picks in the 8 o'clock hour. 7 bowl games tomorrow, 3 NFL games tomorrow. Full slate of NFL action. Thanks for waking up with us on a Football Friday.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Look at you. Look like you should be on the sidelines.
What'd you say?
I said, you look like you should be on the sidelines. Like you're injured. You're unable to play today. I mean, you're young enough. You got the helmet off. No shoulder pads on. You're injured. You were inactive. You tried to give it a go right before the show. Sorry. Okay.
I got the headset on, helping out my guys in the running back room or wherever I'm at. I was telling Mark, I've got a lot of Lions jerseys that are just complete burnouts over the years. This one, I got this right before what ended up being his last season with the Lions. He only played 5 games because he was injured for the other 11. He had 3 years left on his contract. They cut him.
Not before you bought the jersey.
Exactly. I also had a Joik Bell jersey. I don't know if you remember him. I had Calvin Johnson right before he retired. Joik Bell. He was a running back at Wayne State.
No,
So
you got listen. Miller and Moulton really pay attention to the sports world. I mean, Mark is like, listen. I wish I didn't pay attention as much as we pay attention. Have you ever heard of this guy before?
No.
No.
I would like to think
Joey who?
Joik, Joique Bell, Joik Bell.
Joik Bell.
He was the Lions' bell cow for like 2-3 years. Seriously.
Did you just say Joik Bell was their bell
Yes.
cow?
Yes.
Okay. You're fired.
Joik Bell and bell cow.
Joik.
The ultimate oxymoron.
Joik Bell. All right, that's it. I'm looking it up.
You might remember him.
No, I would not. I want to look up everything about him. Wayne State.
Yes, he was a warrior.
He was a warrior.
Hometown kid.
I didn't even know Wayne State were the Warriors, to be honest with you. I didn't know they had a nickname.
Almost went to school there. And by almost, I mean
Benton Harbor.
Yep. He's a hometown kid. Grew up a Lions fan.
Number 44 with the Lions. He ran a 4.740. A 4.68 40.
He hit the hole. He ran hard.
God, he was with the Lions for like 5 years.
Yeah. The jersey I have is number 35. That was his. He had 2 stints with the Lions. The second one was he just played special teams. But
his number's retired at Wayne State for what it's worth. He has 2,200 career yards in the NFL.
And Trent has his jersey.
Hey,
I bought it after the 2013 season, and the 2014 season was his best for what it's worth. So that one I wasn't totally cursed on.
Wow, 2014. They made the playoffs that year.
They did, and Reggie Bush was banged up all year, and that's why Joik Bell got a lot of carries.
Joik Bell.
But whatever. If nothing else, that passed the time at the break, because here we go.
Wow.
8 seconds, David.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. We will make our picks on all of the football games. That's right, all 42 bowl games. We'll make them coming up. I just did that to see if Mark's paying attention.
I am. I'm just ignoring you right now, David.
I am a little punchy this morning, and Mark is dealing with it the way that you deal with someone who's a little punchy. You either punch back or you go, he's a moron.
I'm just letting him go this morning. He is on his own. But David, I did want to bring this story up. It was brought up in our Twitch chat room, and I saw it yesterday as well. Are you aware of what's going on with the Minnesota football team, the Gophers?
No, I was going to bring up what's going on at Utah. So go. I'm interested. What do you got?
They're playing in the Quick Lane Bowl. Okay. They qualified. They're the 5-7 team that got in because of academics.
Yes. They had the best APR of all the 5-7 teams.
Their starter is transferring. Their starting quarterback is transferring.
Before the game?
Before the game.
Right.
Their third string quarterback is transferring.
Okay.
Their other option is Cole Kramer. He's a redshirt senior. But Kramer was not planning on sticking around. He's graduating. He's done. He's getting married in February. He's moving on with his life.
Right.
But they really need a quarterback.
Uh-huh.
So apparently, PJ Fleck has offered to get Kramer to stay by giving him up to, by reports, $30,000 of NIL money to stick around and play in the Quick Lane Bowl.
Yeah.
Now, it was on a message board, so you don't know if you want to believe that stuff. But the person who runs 24/7 sports for the Gophers is a guy by the name of Ryan Burns. He commented on the anonymous source that comes on the message boards that I heard this guy's getting, I got an A+ source, says he's getting $30,000 to play in the game. Burns, who does a 24/7 podcast on Gopher football and is kind of their go-to guy, his podcasting partner is the person who co-founded and co-operates their NIL.
Sounds like he knows where to go to find out whether it's true.
And he did not say it's $30,000. He just said, my numbers are different than yours. So this kid's getting his wedding paid for by playing in a bowl game. Or at least a nice chunk on a first house.
Okay. All right.
So that's where we're at.
Well, in Utah, here's what they're doing with NIL. So earlier this week, they brought the basketball team and the gymnastics team. They brought them into the gym, and they played a little game show. And they said, listen, you can either have what's behind door number 1 or door number 2.
Monty Hall came to Utah?
But unlike on Let's Make a Deal, where usually one of the doors had a really nice prize and the other door, had a bag of topsoil. Behind the one door was a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and behind the other door was a 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn truck. So the basketball players and the gymnasts, which one do you want? That's how they're doing NIL at the University of Utah. The Utah's Crimson Collective. Which one you want? No, you don't want door number 1? That's okay. How about door number 2? It's a new car. Come on down. You're the next gymnast at the University of Utah.
Just want to see some of the gymnasts try to drive the pickup.
Or get into it.
411 and a full, they'll just jump into it.
Oh,
they'll open the door and do a 1.5 and land in the seat, and we'll all feel foolish.
It's so
this is
true.
awesome, though. Why not just lean into it? It's already obnoxious. The scale is tipped so far. Do a game show.
Well, think about it. First off, it's not our money, right? I mean,
Right.
I'm sure most people are, your first reaction, you're appalled. The coaches all get cars. They do. They all get courtesy cars. Assistant coaches get courtesy cars. Not all assistant coaches, but the top ones, they get cars. But also, it's not your money. It's not. Okay, the car dealerships decided this is what they want to do. They want to be associated with the University of Utah Athletics. Who do you care who they give them to?
I think you should be happy that they're actually reaching out, and the gymnasts do so well at Utah that they're getting cars as well. Makes me wonder what the football team drives.
Well, that's a whole other story. I don't know. Are they driving nicer cars going to the Big 12, lesser cars? What do you think? Going from the Pac-12 to the Big 12?
Ooh.
Think they stayed the same?
Probably stayed the same.
Okay. All right. So anyway,
what would you have taken, the truck or the Jeep?
Probably the Jeep. Probably the Jeep. Mark, I have a big enough rear end myself. I don't need anything more back there. Boom.
Well played.
Thank you.
I've always wanted a Jeep. Maybe I should have gone to Utah.
There's still time.
Yeah, Mark, you have any eligibility left?
All kinds.
He's got all kinds. He never played.
I've even got a COVID year left.
Right. Go get some sort of graduate. I mean, at least a couple years while he's in school. Tell you what, though, doing this show, that's 4 a.m. out there, it's going to be hard on you.
Yeah, it's mountain time, though.
I know. You always wanted to live in the mountain time zone.
It's my goal.
Monday Night Football at 6 o'clock. Oh, yeah.
First kickoff at 10 on Saturdays.
11. Oh, no, 10. You're right.
10 on Saturdays, 11 on Sundays.
I know. Yeah,
6 o'clock for Sunday Night Football starting right at dinner time. It'd be fantastic.
That would be the nice thing is the 8 o'clock games don't start at 8 o'clock. That'd be the big one.
So we brought him in for.
That's right.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting really paying off.
That's right. You know, when you're in Denver, the 8 o'clock games don't start at 8. Sorry. That voice. You earned that voice with that one. You know, I'm going to bet the Pistons tonight. They're at home.
I am never going to live that down. Ever.
No, you're not.
It's
How
the
many have they lost in a row?
107. 21.
Time now for our Molly Maid play of the day. What do you have for us, Trent? A lot of pressure. You've been getting a lot of flack in the Twitch chat room over the plays of the day.
I have.
What do you have for us today?
Well, it was a great sports night. There were a couple 40-point games in the NBA. There was 12 touchdowns in a football game. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'll stick with the NHL. There were 2 shootouts, 1 overtime winner. But have you heard of this Steven Stamkos guy? He netted 4 last night in a 7-4 Lightning win over the Oilers. Here's how number 3 sounded to give him his 12th hat trick of his career.
Lucho to center ice. Cross ice pass cut up by Sherry in the back check. He'll turn for Stamkos. 2-on-2 up the middle at center. Across the blue line center point. Shoot score! Stamkos the hat trick! What a shot! Bar down! 5-3 Lightning!
Bar down. Lightning win at 7-4. Maybe turning the corner. 14, 12, and 5 on the season. They're 5th in the Atlantic. But that championship pedigree, Steven Stamkos showing it off last night. Another feather in the cap of his Hall of Fame career. And there is your play of the day from the NHL.
I thought it was a big win for them last night.
Oh, yeah. Without Hedman, think about it. You had Edmonton trailing going to the third without Hedman, and Edmonton's won 8 in a row. Yeah, that's a big 2 points for them.
They jumped up 2 spit, gave up 3 in the second to fall down 3-2, and then a huge third period. I thought it was a really I think you're on to something, Trent, that it could be a pivotal game for the Lightning. Miller and Moulton. Bob Harig to talk the PGA and Live Golf next.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Yeah, hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com. Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6, and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. Little tuna mac there, David?
Yep. Got to finish it off.
Could tell by the scraping that I thought it was tuna mac.
Yep. No, Dead Struck, I'm punchy today because I was out late last night. And by late, I mean I got home at 10:30. Then I had to work on the starting five. Number 5, the NHL. So, Mark, you'll love this. So I go to practice Wednesday because, I mean, I've followed this team a little bit just as a courtesy, but, I don't really know them. So I go to practice and, I got the names, down, who's going to start. I talk with the coach. I go, this is starting 5. He goes, yep. Okay. I show up at the gym hour and a half before tip. There are the game notes. Yep. There's a starting 5, what have you. Yeah, he started 5 totally different guys. And apparently he did it on a whim. He talked it over with his staff 20 minutes before the game, in which he's just I just, based on practice, and I guess they got out rebounded by 21 in their last game, and he just wanted to shake things up. So he just started the 5 guys who don't normally start.
Wow.
So, and I literally had just done the starting lineup on air. And it'll be so-and-so, 6'8" junior. Yep. And then they come out of the huddle, and then looking around, I go, that's not numbers 1, 11, 13. So post-game, we get a few questions in, and I say to him, hey, I know we don't know each other very well, but I really can't keep a secret. He starts laughing. I go, no, I was in practice yesterday. I asked you who's going to start. You checked off the 5 guys. I get here, game notes, same 5 guys. You know who walked out to center court? 5 totally different guys. He's laughing. I go, is it me? He said, no, it was me. I just decided. Wanted to shake things up. He said, trust me, the guys I was telling who was sitting and who was starting, they were as surprised as you. I said, well, this is old school right here. Yeah, you 5? Yeah, you normally start? You ain't starting.
Bob is on.
Well, that's good.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour, we'll get back to this Football Friday coming up. But Bob Harig's kind enough to join us once again, and he covers golf for Sports Illustrated, and he's very good at it. Remember, he's author of the book Tiger and Phil, Golf's Most Fascinating Rivalry. And heck, when he wrote it, it was fascinating. It might even be more than that now. Available in paperback. It's a nice stocking stuffer. Hint, hint, hint. Follow Bob on Twix, Twitter/X at Bob Harig, Harig. Bob, it's David and Mark. Thanks for doing this. How are you?
Good morning, David. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
It is always our pleasure. So, just how much disarray do you believe the PGA Tour is in? Is that too strong a word, or is this really uncharted territory behind the scenes in the power structure of the tour?
Yeah, how much time do you want to take? I mean, I think I try to give them the benefit of the doubt on things. They've been very, very good organization for decades. I think they got caught flat-footed here with this whole situation. I think you and I talked about it before. I've written about it extensively. There was a threat out there, a rival, a disruptor for 5, 6, 8 years now. There was an organization before Live, and it had many of the same people that moved to Live. And I just think the tour was slow to react. And every decision they've made since has been sort of, trying their best to do what they thought was right, but probably a step behind. And then there's been this incredible transparency issue, which has rocked the tour. There's considerable angst and frankly, anger over the June 6th, decision, the announcement about the framework agreement that they had been negotiating with the Saudis for, weeks, and nobody knew about it. None of the players. And it's formed distrust that lasts to right now. And you get the sense that behind the scenes, there's not cohesion on what the next step is. My take and my sense, given the landscape, is, no matter what you think of the PIF and their entries into golf, I think the tour needs to make a deal. I think it's too risky to not. But I think there's a lot of pushback within the organization not to. And so that's where they're at. Not only do they need to come together internally, but then they need to figure out, well, what's the best way to make a deal? What works best? What are we willing to give up? Let's be honest, in any deal, there's got to be compromise. And though if they do strike a deal, there will be some things that, the PGA Tour you'll look at it and go, man, that's something I didn't see coming. But yet it's almost inevitable because that's where they're at right now.
Well, one of the parts of the first merger that always struck us as odd, Bob, is that, the PGA Tour said they're going to get all this money and that they're still going to be in charge. If I give you all my money, I want some say-so. Ultimately, how much say will PIF have if the merger is ever done?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was poor wording. I thought that was a poor talking point. They made a strong case of that, which I think was meant to sell everybody on the idea. But of course, I mean, me, a non-business person, I think I understand that if somebody's putting in the most money or a lot of money, they're going to have considerable say. And the way it was structured was the PGA Tour would remain as is. Like what we know today would still exist. There would be a FedEx Cup schedule. There would be a nonprofit side. There would be charitable giving. But there'd be a new company, they're calling it PGA Tour Enterprises, for profit, pooling the assets of the tour, the DP Tour, and the PIF. And that would have a separate board of which Yasser Al-Rumayyan would be the chairman. Well, he would be my understanding is the chairman of the board has considerable power. Now, the board would be mostly made up of PGA Tour people, but you can't think that he would be a part of that without having some legitimate say. And that's, I think, why we're at where we are right now. What does he want? What does Yasser want? I've long thought he is not so much interested in total control as he is as a seat at the table. They are trying to normalize through sports. You know, they have a Premier League team. You know, they're big into F1. They've got tennis that's in Saudi now. You know, they've tried to expand their own soccer in Saudi, and now they're wanting to get into golf. I don't think they want to control golf. I just think they want to be part of it, and that gives them the ability to meet and greet. And you know, what if Aramco, their oil company, which is one of the most profitable in the world, you know, could be a presenting sponsor at the British Open or at the U.S. Open? I think they want those things more than they do live. And yet they've put considerable resources into live. And I can also see where they might just not want to, you know, kick it to the curb. They might want it to exist in some form going forward as part of this new company.
He's Bob Harig. He covers golf for Sports Illustrated. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at Bob Harig, Harig. And remember the book, Tiger and Phil, Golf's Most Fascinating Rivalry. You can go to Amazon and get it in paperback. All right. Help me out here. So Miller and Moulton are negotiating with you, Bob, on a deal. And we're going to join forces. And all of a sudden, while we're negotiating, and there's 2 weeks left for us to strike a deal or else, you go and sign one of the biggest assets that we have to a $400 million deal. I mean, forgive me if Miller and Moulton think that maybe you're not so much interested in the deal as you are taking us down. I mean, that's what I'm trying to get here. Wait a minute. We're negotiating a partnership and you're signing John Rahm? I don't get it.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of ways you can take that. Certainly, it has the look of they don't want a deal, but I also think it's partially a leverage play. It's like, look, if you don't make a deal, we'll do this again. You know, we're going to just keep going. And the tour's mindset was that from the beginning was, Liv will never get off the ground. It won't launch. It won't gain traction. It won't be popular. They won't be able to sustain it. Well, you know, they've made it through 2 years. They have full plans for a third and even into 2025. And you run the risk of losing other players to them if you don't make a deal. And I think that was what it was. And, you know, of course, if they make a deal, you know, the PIF can say, hey, look, you know, let's speed this up. Why don't you let our guys play in the tour in a limited amount in 2024, and then we'll have something more formal for 2025. I mean, there's all sorts of things here that they have been able to give themselves the ability to negotiate. The tour is, you know, obviously people get mad at them for this, you know, like banning players and all that. Well, what were they supposed to do? Like if you said, yeah, those guys can still play on the PGA Tour, well, then why wouldn't you sign with them? There's almost no risk, you know? And so the tour's been put in a tough spot, a really tough spot. They are 3 of the last 5 major champions are going to be playing for Liv. That means we won't be seeing them at the Players or at the Arnold Palmer or at the Memorial, Pebble Beach. I mean, that's a blow. That hurts, you know? And that's why I think it behooves the tour to get a deal. But why does the PIF need a deal? Well, I don't really think Liv has gained traction. You know, it's got a lot of great players. They've got an innovative and unique concept. Some people hate it, but others enjoy it. But yet they don't have a good TV deal. They don't have sponsorship, much of it. And without the blessing of the greater golf world, those things will be harder to attain. If they're brought into the golf world and Liv is kept in some form, well, then you can see possibly TV windows opening up because it's in the tour's best interest to make them profitable. You could see, you know, maybe the OWGR coming through. You could see possibly changes that would make that easier for Liv. And you'd see, you'd see turnover between the two tours. You'd have to have the ability for Liv players like Bryson, Brooks, and Rahm to play in PGA Tour events. How that would work is unclear, but I think that's the tricky part of what these negotiations are all about.
On the other side, the tour now seems to have its own problems because the players that are not in the top 50 are angry at the new point system. I mean, going forward, when you look at Jay Monahan, who just got a raise, by the way, and you pointed that out on X and retweeted that, but how safe is his job right now? I know he got a raise, but they can fire anybody. How safe is the leadership at the PGA Tour right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I got to believe that that's a bit tenuous. You know, those contract things, that's all baked into his deal. You know, it's based on, and you know, that's going back to 2022. Say what you want about the tour. A lot of what his compensation is based on is making sure they have X number of tournaments and purses being raised. And so there's executive bonuses for those things. Well, those things happened, you know, but obviously when you've got $20 million or whatever it was in legal fees, it looks bad that the guy in charge is actually getting more. But how often does that happen in our world, right? Where CEOs make these obscene amounts of money, you know, huge sums compared to everybody else. I mean, I just don't think he's any different in that regard. Is his job safe? I think a lot depends on how this deal looks. And you mentioned, you know, some of the players being upset. It's funny, but if you think about it, the whole reason we are in this position is because the top players and their agents started to buy into the idea that the tour was too much of a even playing field. Like they went out of their way to take care of the rank and file at the expense of the stars. Mickelson, going back years, has said, why do we have so many events? Why do we subsidize opposite events? If they're not good enough to get in the regular event, they shouldn't be able to play. We don't need those tournaments. In fact, why don't we have fewer tournaments and put more money into those so the top players are playing against each other more often? You know, well, what do we have happening now? That's exactly what the signature events are compared to the other tournaments. And that's sort of what the stars have been pushing for. The tour has always been about taking care of the little guy, and the top players thought it was at their expense. Now it's shifted. And now the little guy is thinking, well, what about me? And it's an interesting dynamic, but, you know, in pretty much all sports, you know, you got one or two guys on an NBA team who are making way more than the other guys. And that's just sort of how sports works, you know? And so in golf, while yes, obviously the players who did the best on the money list made a lot of money, they didn't make considerably more money than the guy who was finishing 50th or 75th. I think you're seeing that change now. The last 2 years, the on-course compensation has really been incredible, and it's only going to become more, even though the tour is struggling to pay the bills.
Well, Bob, and we've got 30 seconds. So we have a deadline in 16 days. If they don't reach a deal, then the PGA Tour can't afford to continue. They're going to have to go get their money from someone else. So then PIF is going to say, oh, well, and then they're going to keep on keeping on. I mean, it seems as if we're reaching a crisis in 16 days. Got about 30 seconds. Am I seeing this wrong?
No, but I do still think there's the possibility of an extension. You know, Monahan and Yasser were supposedly meeting this week. That's been very tight-lipped. It would be nice if they came out and gave us an update before the holidays and said, here's where we're at. We're going to push this into January. And frankly, they could even announce some sort of a further framework with the idea that we're going to take another 3 months to work out the details. At this point, I would really be surprised if they just dropped it and they were done. Because of those reasons that you just said. And also, I do think the PIF needs a deal too.
Gotcha.
The game is divided. There's, if you take the temperature, I don't think half the golf fans are live fans.
No.
I think it's smaller than that, much smaller.
Yes.
And how viable will it be without the PGA Tour? That's just my sense. They've made terrific inroads. They've obviously launched.
Right.
They've done a lot of good things. They've gotten players paid. They're helping everybody get paid. They're creating opportunities on the tour because they're creating space.
Bob, we're always appreciative of your time and insight. We wish we had more time, quite frankly. Bob Harig, Sports Illustrated, the book Tiger and Phil, Golf's Most Fascinating Rivalry. Bob, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. And thanks for listening to Miller and Moulton.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Have a great day.
Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hey y'all, it's Ben Allen. When it comes to singing and performing live shows, I'm in my comfort zone. When it comes to wanting to surprise my wife with diamonds, I'm a bit lost. That's why I go see my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. Jason and Todd helped me blow my wife away when we got engaged, and I've been applauding them ever since. If you're in the market for diamonds this holiday season, Southwest Florida has been giving Jason and Todd a standing ovation for over 20 years. Go see them and let Jason and Todd know that Ben Allen sent you.
Thanks, Ben. We're proud of you and your accomplishments and thrilled that you are part of our Diamond District family.
This holiday season, visit Jason and me at the Diamond District. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. So I watched Hard Knocks yesterday. My daughter comes down halfway through it, and I'm like, uh-oh, I turned it off. And she's like, what? You don't want to watch it anymore? I said, I can't watch it with you in the room. I said, ever see that guy right there? Every time he talks, he swears a lot. McDaniel. She goes, I'll just plug my ears. Okay. So she walks in the other room. I turn it on. She walks in. She goes, Daddy. I said, I told you. And then she's eating it still on, and it goes off the game, different things. It comes back to him, and she just goes like that, and he just lets it rip again. He is a cursor.
Interesting. Hey, Bob Harig's got a new book coming out in March. about Tiger. Nobody's interested in him.
Irish football, we had the executive producer of the Prime documentary on the show yesterday.
I have not seen it yet. So here's the problem. So if they don't do a deal with Live, and so they do a deal with, say, an American, money machine. Well, first off, does anybody have as much money as Live? No.
No.
And so Live can just keep doing the slow drip, the slow burn, and basically just wait for the tour to implode. I mean, I don't see how. I mean, I think the PGA Tour needs the deal much more than Live does. Yeah, Live's a punchline in America, but around the world, it's not. And they'll just be like, okay, we're good. Just keep doing your thing. We're fine.
Wow, they just ran the not top 10. I didn't see it until I didn't watch the Panthers highlights. I just knew they lost 4-0. Bobrowski's playing the puck, right side of the net, goes to throw a cross-ice pass. And I mean, it's tape to tape to a Vancouver Canuck who's got the whole. I mean, it is a perfect tape to tape pass. He's got the, and I mean, Bobrowski's 8 feet from the net.
Right.
It's the worst pass I've ever seen in my life. He's my fantasy goalie, too. He cost me last night. Playing the kid this week. Big week.
That's okay. How about all the people who have Shesterkin as their fantasy goalie?
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the third and final hour of Miller and Moulton along the network on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Thanks so much for being with us, Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. It is the Diamond District bonus hour. It is 1 hour away for our loyal audience in the 239. All right, this is the hour we make our picks. We'll do so against the number coming up in about 35 minutes time, whether it's a Fantastic Five, a Super Seven, all right, whatever the case may be. But we have bowl games beginning tomorrow. Hell, we got 3 NFL games tomorrow and a full slate on Sunday. So we got a lot to talk about, Mark. Curious, besides the semifinals in college football, any bowl game interest you at all?
Not a one.
Do you think that's a problem?
I think it's a huge problem because I used to like the bowl games. I used to get excited about them. And part of the problem is watching these lesser bowl games, these guys are all transferring too. I mean, if a game's like Saturday, will I turn the TV on and have bowl games on in the background? Probably. Will I sit down and get into any of them? Not unless there's a really riveting game in the fourth quarter.
All right. Sometimes we have to do this because sometimes I just wonder, are we two crotchety old guys? Trent, any of the bowls interest you before the semifinals?
No, and I'm with Mark. I used to be the same way. I used to love bowl season. I used to watch every single one that I could, but I think you guys are onto something that NIL, I don't know if it's just NIL. I don't know if that's the main culprit, but it's less interesting because the players don't even seem to care half the time. So why should you?
It's not even, the NIL doesn't even matter. It's the portal. They're all leaving. You're not getting anywhere. You know, you used to watch the game because it was a preview of next year. It was kind of the spring game for some teams. You looked at a bowl game and said, all right, hey, they had a good year. Let's see how they do in this bowl game and see what their quarterback, see whatever looks like they're playing a good team, and let's see what happens. And that'll lead us into the 2024 season. That's not the case with the portal anymore, David.
All right. Then tell me what you think the future is more likely to be. A, the status quo. in which, these bowls are propped up by ESPN. This is programming once again. And I know there are some of you who hate when we say this. And yes, a lot of the time we're joking, but it's like a comedian who brings up a serious subject. It's best to do it in a joking manner because people will actually listen to you that way and get their point across. But this is a TV show. Fox and ESPN are running the sport. It's all about television. The NFL is a TV show. We look at it as sports. It's entertainment. ESPN's propping up these bowls. I mean, all these games tomorrow, 7 of them, including in the FCS Celebration Bowl there. They're all on the ABC, ESPN family of networks. There's you can count them on one hand, the number of bowls. There's 42 bowls. There's less than a handful that are not on the Disney. So what do you think is more likely? That ESPN keeps propping up the bowl season, the Capital One bowl season, or that ESPN goes, we're going to need some of this money to get as many of these playoff games as possible. Because we're going to go from 3 playoff games. We can afford to buy 3 playoff games. There's going to be 11 beginning next year. Now, we still kind of have the rights for the next 2 years. Nobody can get in unless we let them. But they're going to put this up to open bidding beginning in 2026, and we're going to need all the damn cash we can get our hands on. And by the way, we're also renewing the NBA at 3 times what we're paying for the NBA now. So, guys,
very simple question, because I don't know the answer to this. And I they're propping up the bowls. I get it.
Yep.
But with their sponsors, with the number of eyeballs that are on these bowl games, which are pretty significant. I mean, these are games that would do 300,000 people on a Saturday. They're doing over 1 million during bowl season.
If not 1.5 million to 2.
Is bowl season profitable for ESPN? Are they propping them up, or do they make money on the bowl season?
I think both. There wouldn't be a bowl season without ESPN, but because of sponsorship and ad revenue and what have you, I do think they're making money. Here's the funny thing. You know who's losing money on bowl season?
Schools.
Yes.
The schools.
Yes, they are. And it doesn't matter the bowl either. I mean, maybe you get to the very, very end, but we've detailed many times how many times, every time Wisconsin's gone to the Rose Bowl, they've lost money.
Wisconsin.
Right.
Because you've got to buy your allotment of tickets. You
Right.
got to make sure that allotment that they give you is sold. You've got to buy tickets for your band.
There you go.
You've got to travel your band out there because the bowl needs entertainment and they want you to provide it for them.
So at some point, though, ESPN, one of the things that was thought 10 years ago was that, well, ESPN would always have a countless supply of money. I look at all the money they're making, and all the households and $5.99 a month, and this, that, and the other thing. It's like, well, this. In fact, 15 years ago, Jim Nantz publicly complained that all sports in the future is going to be on cable. How will network TV ever be able to afford to keep all these sports? Because basically, the system that sets up cable can make far more than network. So they're going to eventually outbid all the networks. We're not going to have any sports on network TV. Well, that didn't turn out to be the case, but there's more and more of it on cable, and now more and more of it on streaming. But the fallacy for ESPN was that ESPN thought they were going to have endless money, and now people are cutting the cord. 10 years ago, the thought was, anybody going to cut the cord for? So they're still making a boatload of money.
A boatload.
I mean, they're
even
just
with
not
all
making
the cord cutters. They are still making an astronomical sum of money.
Yes. They're just making not as many billions as they were. I mean, honestly, this whole narrative about, ESPN's doing just fine. It really is. Now, that's not to say going forward that they don't have some issues. Because the cost of broadcasting sports is a lot of money. Like, they're paid $2.7 billion just for the NFL. That's a year, by the way. $2.7 billion. The NBA is asking for 3-4 times more money than they're paying now. They're going to be paying over $1 billion a year for the NBA.
And ESPN has to have the NBA. They have to. It is too big of a part of their programming in and around the games that they televise.
Never mind,
Next to
obviously.
football, next to the NFL, they talk about the NBA more than anything else.
Right. You may not be interested. They are. So you get the idea. And now we're going to have 11 playoff games instead of 3. Well, ESPN can't afford all 11 games. And Fox is going to want in. And the Big Ten is going to want Fox in. And once you allow one other company in, well, hell, why don't we just see how much money we can get? So eventually we're going to have NFL-style playoffs in college football. 4 different networks televising the games. That's probably what we're going to get. May not get it in this first deal. They may try to keep it just ESPN and Fox or ESPN and somebody else. But by the 2030s, we're going to have it look just like the NFL.
With
Damn near as
16
many
teams
games.
probably,
Right.
too.
Yeah. And both, by the way, may have 16 playoff teams by the 2030s. But so that's what I'm curious about going forward. There's to the Rutgers and the Miami Hurricanes, if given a choice. Truth serum. Think Miami wants to play a bowl game? Yes or no?
I think yes. Who are you
Really?
asking? The Miami fan? The Miami the university?
No, the Miami Hurricanes, the athletic department, the university. Do we really want to play a
I still
bowl
think
game?
they want the practices. I still think they want the 4 weeks of practice. The coaching staff. I'm not sure about the athletic department, but I think the coaching staff wants the game, David.
I think Miami's a no, but I think Rutgers is a yes. And that's what I'm curious about going forward also. We just got done talking Bob Harig and golf. What's happening on the PGA Tour? It used to be, we're all in this together. Now there's a clear separation on the PGA Tour. The hell with Live. Just for a second, the PGA Tour. Now there's a clear dividing line. There's top 50, there's everybody else. Well, Mark, couldn't you see this happening in college football?
We've been predicting it or talking about it for 10 years.
First off, basically the Power 5 is going to become the Big 2 beginning next year. And it's going to be the Big 10 and the SEC. The SEC is blowing up in the next 100 days, 150 tops. It'll go into effect in a year and a half. We're going to have Pepsi and Coke, and then we're going to have, Dr. Pepper and Sprite and a few other things running around. Well, Mark, when does the powerful, the 12 basically, with maybe a handful of others, when do they basically decide, yeah, hell with the Celebration Bowl? The hell with the Boca Raton Bowl? Who cares? You know what? Whatever. Run some more college basketball. Run some more NBA and NHL during those 10 days in and around Christmas. I don't know what to tell you. We got a pool. We're going to cut these bowls in half. All right. We're going to cut the money down. That the teams even are just like, you know what?
Well, back to that Minnesota story. They literally were not going to have a quarterback for a bowl game because 2 were transferring and the other one was graduating.
But just is it going to be necessary? That to me, Mark, I look at the bowls now as like the fall season of golf. How important was the Shriners Golf Tournament in November in Vegas?
It never was important.
Right. To me, that's the Boca Raton Bowl. We really need this? There was a time that, yes, we loved it. Same with golf. Golf, those that loved golf loved the year round, loved the fall season, the whole deal. We now seem to be like, I want golf to be over by Labor Day.
And the have-nots would be the ones that would want this system to keep going. But does ESPN have any interest in making sure that App State can play Miami of Ohio? Because, for all these schools like the App States, and I pay attention to them because they were a dominant FCS program. They made the jump to the big boys. They've made a bowl every year. They've had a winning record every year. I don't know how it's benefited them because they're never playing in the playoff.
Now, in theory, there's a road to them to make it. But
yeah,
yes,
there is.
I'm with you.
So maybe it's all worth it for App State. But I see the schools like that will want the bowl games to continue. But will ESPN continue to pay for those schools to be in bowl games? Because that's what you're going to end up getting. with 12 teams going to the playoff. The Outback Bowl, who's that going to be? 5-7 Minnesota against 6-6 Mississippi State team?
No, but instead of it usually, in the past it was 10-2 Big Ten against 10-2 SEC. Now it's going to be 8-4 against 8-4. The fifth or sixth best team, and it'll be the number 6 against number 6 in each conference. That interests you? Miller and Moulton.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Florida.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Oh, I can't tell you, KW, how many Astro Blue Bonnet Bowls I watched on New Year's Eve. Then it led right into the, countdown, Dick Clark. It's when I always saw either Houston or Texas Tech in the Astro Blue Bonnet Bowl. So we got to do straight up picks and then picks against the number. What do you want to do when?
What are we doing straight up picks? All the NFL?
Yeah. We'll just,
But we need a long segment for that. We can't do that in a short segment.
Oh, I agree with that. Here, I got it. I got a short segment if you want.
Okay, then when are we going to do?
We'll do the 8:38, right?
Okay, we're going to do picks against the number and NFL picks all in one. We don't have time to do that.
Okay, so let's do picks against the number now.
Right.
Okay. All right.
We have trouble getting through all the NFL games in a long segment just with the games.
Deal. The Holiday Bowl.
No Irish football because the Live players play in the Masters. The Live's got nothing against the majors. They're not going up against the majors. They might go up against other tournaments, but they won't go up against the majors.
Well, I know they'll be a lot more excited to play the game than Syracuse will.
So Roy Cummings likes the Bucks to win. Lee Sterling likes the Bucks to win. I like the Bucks to win, and you guys are just not giving an inch. You're saying go Pat go.
We haven't made our picks yet.
Well, I know, but when I said they were going to win, you guys chastised me.
Well, hell, we love chastising you. It's just
that's true.
It's Tampa Bay going to play in Green Bay, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And when they go there without Tom Brady, they don't do well. With Tom Brady, they do pretty well.
Funny how that works.
Well, it's always good when you can bring a Tom Brady to the fight.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. By the way, just had a very nice comment in the Twitch chat room. 21,000 is our text line. You can watch the show, twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton. The lucky few in our Twitch chat room, that's what he goes by, happily watching you guys on Twitch. Have the morning off. Usually listen on the radio. All right. So you're watching me eat a lot this morning. I'm very hungry this morning.
There is no doubt. It is sometimes difficult if you're hungry to watch this show. At least if you're somewhere where you can't get to food,
right.
Like Trent and I. But Trent usually has the donuts. Trent usually brings in a bag of donuts every morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Powdered sugar. They're like the little ones, not like I don't bring in a dozen donuts and eat those.
No, I'm just impressed. I remember what it was like to be 24. Oh yeah, those about 2 dozen of those little white donuts. Oh yeah. That'll get you at about 10 a.m. And then you go, holy blank! I just ate 2 dozen of those white donuts. So, but I just wanted to acknowledge somebody watching us for the first time. Listen, we got to pick the games, but we also have to pick the games against the number.
I'm ready for that.
Well, let's go then.
David, you like themes. Mm-hmm. I have a little bit of a theme this week.
All right.
I've got 2 college games. I'm taking Georgia Southern and laying the 3 against Ohio, and I'm taking App State and laying the 6.5 against Miami of Ohio.
Boy, you love your App State.
I'm anti-MAC in college. There's no rhyme or reason to this game other than I love App State. You're right, David. I have a soft spot for the kids from Boone. But for the pros, see, I was anti-Ohio for the college games. I'm pro Ohio for the pro games. Give me Cincinnati laying the 3.5 against Minnesota. They don't even know who their quarterback is. And the Bengals seem to have figured things out. And I think Fields is going to run into a defense that's going to be able to smother him. I like Cleveland laying the 3 against Chicago.
Ooh, a lot of people liking the Bears as the upset pick this week. Browns
one of the main reasons I like Cleveland.
Browns are crushed with injuries.
Offensive line's a mess. I know.
And the Bears defense been playing well, so okay. So
I like Atlanta against Carolina. Carolina's the worst team in football. I know Atlanta's on the road, but give me Atlanta minus the 3. And I snuck in a Super 6 this week, David.
Whoa!
I didn't mean to, but I wrote down 6 games, and I realized after I'd written everything down, we've got 6. I'm taking Buffalo and laying the 2 against Dallas.
Look at you. That's 6 favorites, right?
Of course it is.
I mean, Georgia Southern, App State, the Bengals, the Browns, the Falcons, and the Bills, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I mean, you're not laying a lot of points, so I'll give you that. Well, I will say we saw 2 of the same. I like the Bengals over the Vikings, and I like the Falcons over Carolina. You know, I got 3.5 on the Bengals and 3 on the Falcons.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, I'm picking an upset. I like the Seahawks Monday night. Getting 3. They've lost 4 in a row. Eagles have lost 2 in a row. Man, the Eagles' numbers are bad. 48% they're giving up on third down. I mean, their secondary is a mess. Seattle's got 2 receivers. Geno was healthy at practice yesterday. It looks like he's going to play.
I think I heard that they've won the last 7 against Philly. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how it could be true, but I heard that this morning.
So I'm taking Seattle, and I get 3, although that has not been the play this year. Home dogs have not been the play this year, but I'm playing it on Monday. Listen, I got burned. I took Navy in the Army-Navy game in the points, and I got burned because I thought Army was going to be the one to commit the turnovers because they had all year. And, of course, once I put money on Navy, who commits the turnovers? Navy. Trent, you wouldn't know this being new to the show, but if you think Mark loves App State, ask Mark about my feelings towards North Dakota State football. Yes, I am.
You're going North Dakota State.
But I'm betting against them.
Whoa!
Well, the head coach comes out after the quarterfinal and announces he's leaving to go be the linebackers coach at USC. Not only that, it's their 3rd road game in a row. They're going to Montana, Mark. It's a virtual pick'em. In fact, North Dakota State's a favorite. A new day is dawning in FCS football, Mark. North Dakota State will not be in the championship game for the first time in like 11 years. Give me Montana at home and a point. And I'll take Texas Tech and lay the 3 against Cal. I don't think Cal's very good. Texas Tech actually underachieved. There's talent there. Give me Texas Tech and lay the 3.
That's it?
Yeah. So, 5.
I picked more games than David?
It was either that or I was going to pick every damn bowl game. It was one or the other. I was going to pick all 7 or not. So it was either going to be 11 picks or 5. I went with 5.
Stayed away from the bowl games.
I did.
But went FCS playoffs.
FCS semifinals. Yes. South Dakota State's going to roll in the other one. I just didn't have the guts to lay. It's like 21 against Albany. But, oh, yeah. Oh, we're doing this. Yeah. Montana, North Dakota State, baby. Got to admit, I got more interest in that game than I do damn near any other game that's being played tomorrow. That includes the 3 NFL games. Oh, they had me at Montana, North Dakota State. I'm in. But I'm picking against the Bison. I have never done that. In 17 years of doing this show, I have never picked against North Dakota State.
And you're taking the Grizzlies.
And I'm taking the Grizzlies at home, and I'm getting a point. Third road game in a row for the Bison. The coach announced he's leaving right after the quarterfinal win. They crushed South Dakota too. Man. I'm still rooting for them. I'm still following them, but I'm picking Montana.
So we both have Cincinnati to take down the Vikings. We both have Atlanta to take down Carolina. David has Seattle plus the 3 over Philadelphia. Montana plus the 1 against North Dakota State.
Say it proud, Mark.
And Texas Tech minus 3 against Cal. I've got Buffalo laying the 2 against Dallas. Georgia Southern laying 3 against Ohio. App State laying 6 against Miami of Ohio. And I've got the Browns laying 3 against the Bears. In Flacco, I trust.
Wow. Sitting on his couch 3 weeks ago. Did you see the deal he signed? They could have, by the way, this was a classy move by the Browns. They had one more week where they could have done the whole promote them from the practice squad. You pay them a lot less when you do that. And they didn't. They said, you know what? This isn't right. You're a starter for the rest of the year. Let's sign you to a contract. And then it's loaded with incentives, and it's all based on how the team does. Basically, like every playoff game they win, he gets $500,000. And then if he wins an AFC championship, he gets like $1 million. Please, if he wins an AFC championship game as the quarterback at Cleveland, he'll get more than $1 million. He'll get a statue.
The irony of the former Raven quarterback.
That's right.
Doing it for the Browns is staggering.
That's where we are in the sports world these days.
And there's a few teams going, we'd probably be better if we had Joe Flacco starting for us.
You think?
Miller and Moulton. We'll look at the NFL slate from top to bottom when we come back. Thanks so much for listening right here, the Florida Sports Network.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. All right, the lucky few. I've got a couple questions for you. Thank you for topping in here. Are you happy that you've gone D1 since you're an App State person? Or would you rather be playing for a championship this week or a semifinal game? I'm incredibly curious if you're happy about the move that they've made.
Right.
Because you've been nothing but successful and you go to bad bowl games. So is that good enough? I'm not
right. And we can't say enough good things about what you've done. What you've done going to the next level is unprecedented.
Is that the majority, Lucky Few? Is that App State on the whole fired up to be a big-time D1 program, even though you're not a big-time D1 program?
But you'll be in the ACC in 2 years. They will. Don't you think? App State, South Florida, East Carolina, going to be in the ACC in 2-3 years.
Hey, if you guys want to either text or email me your picks, I can get them on the website right away.
Okay. Well, you take this job seriously.
Well, I could have just written them down.
No. We're not used to that. So, just, imagine our hesitation. That's all.
Oh, the sooner the better, probably.
Like I said, it's a compliment. Just, you're ahead of us.
Here. Don't even worry about it, David. I've got them all written down.
Oh, come on. I got a beautiful text on the way.
Yeah.
Trent, make sure you put Montana +1 in parenthesis, but I'm not happy about it.
Don't listen to him right now. Just put the picks on.
Montana +1 in parenthesis, but I'm not happy about it.
Yeah, I could go to Boone and sit at bars and interview people for a week about this. I am so fascinated by your story, the Lucky Few. I'm not even messing around because no one's done it better than you guys. Nobody. And yet your reward is to go to the Cure Bowl to play Miami of Ohio.
Michael, I'd be happier about the Sun Bowl if Hartman had stuck around to play in it. This is something that is going to have to change, and I don't know if we want to mention this. Right now, the schedule between early signing, which is the middle of next week, the bowl games, and then the deadline for when these kids have to announce where they're transferring to. I mean, that's why the backup quarterback for Texas is leaving now. He's like, well, if I stay with the team through the bowl game, I'll have 48 hours to figure out where my next place is. And it's not like while I'm preparing for a bowl game, I can just go off and visit with another team's coaching staff. I do think they're going to have to change the schedule. First off, it's an early signing next week. That's laughable. If anything, move it up a week. Hell, move it up 2. They could have done early signing in the middle of last week. I mean, if you're going to keep Army-Navy as a standalone game, you could move early signing up to, 8 days ago. Come on, Chad. Chad's Coach Grizzle, by the way. Give me a break. Really? It ruined college football. Chad, all this crap was going on behind the scenes. All your beloved teams were cheating like a blankety blank. Now it's just all out in the open. Now, you know what sucks, Chad? There's schools that can actually, who weren't able to cheat like the really good ones before. Now they can do it on the up and up. Ruined college football. Really? Ruined college football. Did you see the ratings this year?
Fired up on a football Friday.
I say the NBA would like to be ruined like college football. Hell, Major League Baseball would love to be ruined like college football.
All right, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
It is the final segment along the network. Miller and Moulton, thanks so much for being with us. Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com on a Football Friday.
Football Friday.
And let me tell you, is it a football Saturday? 3 NFL games, 7 bowl games, if you count the FCS one. Got an FCS semifinal tonight, an FCS semifinal tomorrow. Huh. Hey, listen, the weather's going to suck. You ain't going to be out doing anything. And honestly, be careful. It's supposed to be bad.
Yeah, my daughter is supposed to play in a soccer tournament this weekend.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
No. I'm just kind of waiting for the text to come through to say this has been canceled.
Yeah, it's canceled. You don't have to wait for the text. I know you don't listen to me, but it's canceled.
No, I listen to you a lot, particularly between 6:30, 8, and 7. I enjoy the starting 5.
I deserved that. I did. All right, we got a triple header tomorrow, NFL action. And listen, I have to lose this tone from my voice because we've had some bad matchups. And a lot of times these Saturday games are like, man, these are lousy games. We have 6 teams playing tomorrow. They all have winning records. Do you know how many teams have winning records in the NFL? Well, there are 11 in the AFC alone. But there's only, 5 in the NFC? So you got 16 teams with a winning record. We got 6 of them tomorrow.
And we both love Cincinnati in the first one.
We do. 1 o'clock NFL Network. Minnesota at Cincinnati. They're going with Nick Mullins, right? Nick Mullins against Jake Browning. Both teams fighting for their playoff lives, just as you envisioned it. Jefferson's going to play for Minnesota. He's banged up, but he's going to play. We both like the Bengals, and we're even laying the points.
Pittsburgh at Indianapolis. The Colts are a 1.5-point favorite right now. More backup quarterbacks. Minshew and Trubisky. I don't know how the Steelers, and I know they have a great defense. I just don't see them scoring. I'm going to take Indianapolis in this game. I almost picked it as part of I almost made it a Super 7, David. But yeah, I like Indy in this game.
I'm going down with the ship. You know that.
Yes, I do.
I was high on the Steelers this year, and in order to continue staying with them, I may be high. But I'm going to go down with Mike Tomlin and the Steelers. The other thing, in all seriousness, I have not been a believer in both the Texans and the Colts. I will say the Texans made me stop and pause when they went into Cincinnati and beat the Bengals because Burrow was still playing then. I went, But Houston's decimated by injuries, and C.J. Stroud might not play. We'll get to that in a bit. And for as much as I like Minshew, Mark, Minshew is last night's football game. He's either the Raiders or the Chargers. There's really no in between with Minshew. It's one or the other. I'm not a believer in the Colts. Maybe I should be.
I'm not a believer in the Colts either. The Steelers are just so bad on offense that I don't think they score enough to win the game.
And you're probably right. But I'm going down with, Tomlin. What can I tell you?
Denver at Detroit. The Lions somehow are a 4.5-point favorite in this game. I didn't want to touch this game as far as from a betting standpoint. Numbers too big for me because I only play favorites.
This is a really big game for the Lions because after this, it's at Minnesota, at Dallas, home for Minnesota. Is this the Lions-Titans game, if you know what I mean, only against a better team? Like, if you're a Lions fan, you're trying to put this division away. I mean, you haven't won this sucker in 30 years. You're just trying to put this sucker away. And you probably need, 2 more wins will definitely do it. Don't you want to get one of them this week at home when you're a favorite? At Minnesota, at Dallas? Really? Do you want to go in with a 2-game losing streak into that stretch?
They've not played good football in a month.
That's because I don't know, Mark, if their defense is capable of doing it anymore. I think they've played their best ball on that side of the line of scrimmage. I really do. I don't think they have much left there. Hutchinson's getting double and triple teamed. Nobody else can get near a quarterback. They couldn't cover you. I think they got issues.
Who are you taking?
I'm going to take Denver. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play defense. Jared Goff started turning it over again.
And Detroit needs to run the damn ball. There needs to be 30 runs between Gibbs and Montgomery in this game.
Dan Campbell's going to go for another ridiculous 4th down and get stopped. And Denver's going to win on a kick.
I'm going to take Detroit. I think that they figure it out. Russ throws a big interception late to give Detroit a close one. I would not lay the number at all.
I hope you're right, by the way, because I have a soft spot for the Lions, but
Kansas City, I believe, will rebound against New England. The bigger question is, can they cover the 8.5?
Boy, they're averaging 19 points a game in like the last 6 weeks. That seems like a lot of points to me, even against Bailey Zappi.
I think you should always use this voice when you say Bailey Zappi.
I would love to know the weather forecast for Sunday in all seriousness. Like, I don't know if the storm is getting to New England in time for this game. I believe it's getting into the mid-Atlantic. Like, I think the Falcons-Panthers game could be very much affected by this storm. But I don't know if the Patriots are going to be affected by it. You know, if you think about it, Jets are on the road in Miami. They think by 1 o'clock Sunday that it will have come through. Giants are not home. Jets are not home. Eagles are not home. Washington's not home. There aren't many games that I think could be impacted by this weather. Pittsburgh's in a dome, if you know. But I think Atlanta, Carolina will, and I'm curious whether it gets to New England or is 1 o'clock too early for it to get there.
You're taking the Chiefs to win the game, though, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay. Chicago at Cleveland. I already picked Cleveland to win. I laid the points. I know their offensive line's banged up, but I just, more than anything, when bad teams start playing good, there's usually a setback. I think this is the setback week for Chicago. I don't trust them. I don't think they're a team on the come. I think they're a bad football team that's won a couple of games. I'm going to take the better defense. Give me the Browns.
Yeah, the Bears have won 3 of 4. In the game they lost, they were up 2 scores late in the 4th quarter and blew it against Detroit. I actually think the Bears have found something. I do. And they're going to go into Cleveland and win, not because they're the better team. The Browns are decimated by injuries. Stefanski should actually get serious consideration for Coach of the Year. I mean, think about what they're doing. Their quarterback was sitting on the couch 3 weeks ago. Nick Chubb was lost in week 2. They're 8-5. I mean, take a look at their injuries. Devastated they've been by injuries. And Garrett's not 100%. This is not the quarterback to be playing against when you're not 100%, by the way. I'll take Chicago.
Houston at Tennessee. One of the games that, well, obviously for Houston is big, but as you pointed out earlier, they're not favored in this game, which leads us to believe C.J. Stroud's not playing.
Now, Davis Mills does have experience. You know, he has started 1.5 years worth of games, although obviously he hasn't played this year. Houston, by the way, they have injuries. Damn. I don't like teams who win on Monday night, though. You know, that's a thing with me. I like teams who lose on Monday night. I don't like teams who win on Monday night. Are we really ready to ride Will Levis? I am, but not because of Will Levis and the Titans. Although, do you know Derrick Henry in the last 5 games against Houston has averaged 204 yards rushing a game? 204 yards rushing last 5 times against Houston. 4 of those 5 times he's rushed for over 200 yards. He's their kryptonite. Give me the Titans.
I'm taking the Titans as well. I I just think that the injuries to Houston, the quarterback situation, they're losing the receiver has hurt them. They're not the same team they were just a couple of weeks ago. I'm taking Tennessee. Your Giants are in New Orleans. How many is New Orleans going to win by?
Tell you what, if I didn't have such a thing against Tommy Cutlets there, I mean, New Orleans is favored by 6.
Yes.
Really? But I don't like teams who win on Monday night the next week. I'll take the Saints. Although I'll tell you what, Derek Carr has not looked good.
I'm not sure who's going to win this game. This is a bad football game with two bad teams. Give me Tommy Cutlets.
Wow.
We both already picked Atlanta to beat Carolina, laying the number, so that'll stay the same. San Francisco. Go ahead. Sorry, David.
I was just going to say, if there's bad weather and it's expected to be, I don't know about you, Mark, I think it favors Atlanta more because they can run the ball on anybody.
Just hammer the under if the weather's really bad. San Francisco at Arizona. Arizona's obviously a huge underdog in this game. It's 12 is the number. Will the Niners cover is the only question.
I mean, Arizona has played hard every week. They've yet to mail one in. They just have arguably the worst roster in the league. San Francisco will win. They may not cover, though. I could see them only, throwing their helmets on the field with a B- effort.
The Rams are a 6.5-point favorite against Washington. Obviously, I think that they'll win this game. They've got a little bit going on, and Washington's gotten rid of their team. They're playing poor football. But I don't know, the number's about right where it should be.
I think the Rams showed me a lot last week in Baltimore. An NFC team who really stood up to the Ravens. Nobody does that. Stafford threw the ball great, too. Boy, those wide receivers are dangerous. Washington coming off a bye. They going to mail one in coming off a bye? Are they already making off-season plans? Or are they rested and guys are playing for their lives and they're going to come up with a great effort? That's the part about this game. I'm going to take the Rams, but I don't know if I'm getting the Raiders out of Washington or I'm getting the Chargers.
I'm playing a hunch. I took Buffalo and laid the points because I think Dallas finally has an off game. It's on the road. I like the Bills in this spot. Who do you like, David?
Do you know this is my Super Bowl, right? I picked Buffalo to beat Dallas in the Super Bowl. So Buffalo would have to win this game to realistically get to the playoffs and therefore have this be right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to take Dallas. Buffalo's too inconsistent for me. Dallas has a lot more weapons than what the Bills faced last week. I'm not sold on the Bills' defense. Also, the weather's supposed to be just fine. Cowboys going to catch a break. Give me Dallas.
All right, now the in-state games. Baltimore at Jacksonville. It's the Sunday night game. What type of shot do you give the Jags at home, David?
They're going to be more desperate, but Trevor's banged up. The third string left tackle. Their defense right now is a disaster. Do you really want to be facing Lamar and the Ravens when defensively you're a mess? Jacksonville got them here last year. I don't think they get them here this year. Give me the Ravens.
I love the Ravens. I just think that Trevor's injury in the no third string left tackle, that presents a problem for a quarterback. He was sacked a bunch last week. I don't know how he's going to be able to move around this week. I like Baltimore.
The other thing is Kyle Hamilton may be the best coverage safety in the league for the Ravens. Evan Ingram, second most catches in the league for a tight end. I think they put Hamilton on him and they limit Ingram's effectiveness. It's probably the key matchup in the game.
Tampa Bay at Green Bay.
Boy, the Bucs analytics are awful. They really are. But I saw Jordan Love in person Monday. Golly, was he bad. I know I like teams who lose on Monday night. I'll take Green Bay, but man, their top two running backs could be out. Their top two receivers could be out yet again. But I'll take Green Bay. Not happy about it.
This is when Tampa loses. Just when they give you that sense that they're playing a little bit better. I'm rooting for the Bucs. I hope that they pull this off, but I like Green Bay coming off of the loss on Monday night. Jets at Miami. Dolphins are going to win this game, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as the point spread says, David.
Boy, so a week ago at this time, the spread was 12. After they lost on Monday, the spread was 8. And despite all the injuries and all the tryouts and all the guys they're bringing in, somehow, Mark, the Dolphins are now up to 9.5. The Dolphins will win. I don't think they cover.
And we'll talk about the Philadelphia-Seattle game on Monday night when it happens. But David already picked Seattle with his Super 7 pick. So a little hint of what he thinks that game is going to be about. That's a run through the NFL schedule along the network. Have a tremendous weekend, a great football weekend, bowl games and NFL games on Saturday and a full slate on Sunday. We'll be back Monday morning. The bonus hours next.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Orlando Alcigari got sick. He yesterday and today he's unable to do shows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You're right, Mark. Let me tell you, these DC folks, they are losing their minds over this.
Losing their mind.
And as somebody said, he goes, it's 7 stops down on the train line. Come on.
I mean, losing their minds.
Golly.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
Miller and Moulton. At least one of us, if not both of us, already thinking ahead to the weekend. Oh, and what a glorious one it's going to be. Noah and an ark, I think, are needed this weekend. Pressure on the quarterback.
You're going to see your first weather in Florida, Trent.
Yeah.
I mean, you got through the end of hurricane season, fortunately, without anything coming through. This is going to be tropical storm-esque, the weather we're going to get this weekend.
Yeah, and with my car, I'm not going anywhere. I'm hunkering down.
Trent is going out immediately after the show. He is buying up food and drink, and he's like, well, I'm not going anywhere till the show on Monday. So
probably not.
Better replace all those little white donuts you're eating right now. Hey, can we play a game?
Sure. Which one are we playing?
How many NFL head coaches are going to be fired? Because I thought one was getting fired at halftime last night. So aren't you a little surprised he made the post-game presser? I mean, honestly, don't you think maybe the owner of the Chargers wasn't there? Because don't you just have to, after the game's over, meet him at the elevator and go, listen, here's my credit card. Just find your way home.
Remember when that happened to Herm Edwards at Arizona State last year? They fired him on the field.
Gerard Gallant with the Panthers, right?
Yeah.
After the game, they didn't even transport him home. He was taking a cab to the airport, flying himself home after a win. Think that 2 in a row. Man, he has gotten some raw deals. Panthers did him wrong. Vegas did him wrong. The Rangers did him wrong. He got some money out of it, though. He's living in Southwest Florida now, living a good life, but he was done wrong. All right. So we'll start in the AFC West. The interim coach beat the guy who's about to be fired. So that's 2, right?
Right.
Okay. Anybody getting fired in the AFC South? I mean, Houston and Indianapolis have new coaches.
And there's no way they're getting fired.
Vrabel, what do you think? I mean, the people were talking 2 weeks ago, how safe is Mike Vrabel? I think he's very safe.
I think he's very safe.
and nothing's happening in Jacksonville. So we think it's just 2. All right, to the north we go. Mike Tomlin is entering next year, the final year of his contract.
Mike Tomlin's not getting fired.
Okay, how about this? We'll change the question. How about coaches who are not with the teams that they're currently with for next year? Because I do think somebody could pick up the phone and call the Steelers and say, hey, let's talk Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin is highly thought of throughout the NFL. He's just not highly thought of among Steelers fans. But there are a lot of teams. I mean, there's talk of Mike Tomlin in Tampa Bay before Baker Mayfield drove them down the field against the Falcons. So
I'll make you this bet. Mike Tomlin is the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers next year. You can have the field. I'll take the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I have no problem saying name the bet.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Now I would love some odds.
Oh, now you want odds?
Well, I'm just
you
saying.
I take the bet.
I will take the bet, but I'm an underdog in this bet. You do have to acknowledge that.
I understand, but I just like what just happened there. I talked you into a bet. We made a bet. You said, I'll take that bet, and went, but I need odds.
Well, but you do have to acknowledge that my side of the ledger here is the long shot. I mean, the Steelers have not gotten rid of a coach since 1968. I mean, LBJ was president the last time the Steelers dismissed a coach. So the odds are very much on your side. That's all I'm saying. It's been 55 years since they said to the coach, hey, I need your keys.
Bingo. And they don't really care what the Steeler fan says.
I understand, but it's put up or shut up time with Mike Tomlin. That's all I'm saying. He's got 1 year left on his contract. I'm okay. I say he's elsewhere next year. They don't fire him, but
they trade him.
I say the Steelers watch what happens with Belichick in New England and go, oh, okay. And that will be interesting, by the way. Does somebody acquire Belichick? Which obviously Kraft would prefer. A, he doesn't technically fire him, and B, then he's not on the hook for the money that he'd be on the hook for by firing him. He just signed Bill to an extension. He's got 3 more years he's got to pay Bill top money. So it would be interesting if Kraft can trade Belichick.
But I think everybody else in the North is safe.
I agree. To the East. Think Saleh is safe?
Yes. I think he is incredibly safe. And that, if there's one source I have in this world, that's where it's at. And he's safe.
Okay. I'm just going to throw this out there. I actually think Tomlin is a candidate for the Jets. Because who's running the Jets? Who's running the Jets? Joe Douglas or Aaron Rodgers? Who's running the Jets?
Well, I think Joe Douglas could be gone.
Okay.
I mean, that
right
is more likely than Saleh being gone.
But who's running the Jets, Joe Douglas or Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron
Rodgers loves Mike Tomlin. Loves Mike Tomlin. Has professed his love for Mike Tomlin. Just saying. Just throwing that out there.
But apparently the Patriots are going to have a new coach next year.
Yeah, the Patriots are for sure. I'll bet on that. Right now, I'll hedge my bet on Saleh. I'll say he stays.
Let me just ask you this question.
Uh-huh.
Dallas wins this week.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills end up missing the playoffs at whatever. Is McDermott safe?
I think he is, unfortunately, for Bills fans, because I think it's time. But
They
I think
extended his
last week
contract at the worst time. They should not have extended his contract before the season, in my opinion, because they might have to hold on to him for that reason.
But I don't think they envisioned that this season would go the way it has. And I don't think they saw McDermott as the problem that others saw him as. And now they're stuck. But to McDermott's defense, the team really rallied last week. He had a rough week last week, and they came forth with that effort against the Chiefs. That's a good sign for a coach. So we're both saying Belichick's gone.
Yes.
So you're at 3 new coaches in the AFC. I'm at 4.
Correct.
Okay. And you're a no on Saleh. I'm hedging on Saleh. Okay. NFC. Washington, right?
For sure.
Okay. And that's all we see in the East, correct?
Yes.
Although it is interesting, what if the Cowboys flame out again? Like, it will be a very interesting decision for Jerry. Let's just say Dallas doesn't win the East. They're the 5 seed. They beat the NFC South team again, and then they go to, I don't know, San Francisco and get whacked. What does Jerry do? And another 12-win season, and he doesn't make it to a conference championship game. What does Jerry do?
I do think it would depend. If San Francisco won the Super Bowl, you know what I mean? It would be, all right, we got beat by the eventual Super Bowl champ. We got to figure out a way to beat a 1 seed next year and get them at home.
I do think that Dak's development this year and potentially an MVP, I do think it bodes really well for McCarthy because McCarthy took over the offense this year. To the north, Campbell safe. Guy in Minnesota safe. LaFleur,
I believe is safe.
I do as well. Eberflus. Come on now. If we played this game 2 weeks ago, he is a goner. We hedging on Eberflus? Yes, no, maybe so. What are we doing with Eberflus in Chicago?
I think he's the coach.
Yeah, I think so too. Pat, put it this way, a side question. Only one of these two will be the guy next year, Eberflus or Fields. Who do you think it is?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know. That's not bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. Fields is going to be on the team, but that doesn't mean they don't draft a quarterback in the first round and make plans to move him out. Or they trade him in the offseason. But
see, if it's only one, I think it's Eberflus, believe it or not, David.
I do too. Because the GM hired Eberflus but didn't draft Fields. Not that there's egos involved in this. So to the south we go. Well, obviously the easy one is there's going to be a new coach in Carolina.
Right.
Okay? So there's 5 for Mark, 6 for me. What happens if Atlanta doesn't win the division?
He's fired.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay. What happens if New Orleans doesn't win the division?
I think he's fired.
At least one question left. What happens if Tampa Bay doesn't win the division?
He's fired.
So we don't know which 2, but we think there's going to be 3 new head coaches in the NFC South next year.
Do you disagree with me?
No, but here's my fear. The NFC is such a mess. There's actually a chance for 2 playoff teams out of the NFC South. I mean, there really is. Like the Falcons and the Saints play the final game of the season. I could see the winner wins the division and the losers the 7.
Look, it's playoffs. If you don't make the playoffs in that division, you are firing your coach.
So
I can't answer that until I know how it ends up at week 17. But I can literally answer it after the games on Sunday of who's fired and who's not.
Okay. So, but we're on the record right now. Of the 3 remaining teams that are 6 and 7, how many of those coaches do we think will be back?
Reluctantly, Bowles will be back because they win the division.
Okay.
Everybody else is gone.
Okay. Well, I'm with you. I think 2 of the 3 are gone. By the way, that means you've got 7 new coaches. I have 8. And we're just getting around to the NFC West. Well, I don't think Pete's going anywhere. I don't think Shanahan's going anywhere. I don't think McVay's going anywhere. I don't think he'll walk away yet. I think McVay's shelf life is close, but I don't think yet. And the Arizona guy just got hired. So you have 7 new coaches. I have 8, and I'm on the fence about Saleh. Boy, this is going to be a fun offseason.
Sure is.
It's only a quarter of the damn league. Miller and Moulton. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when. That's all coming up. Diamond District bonus hour. Thanks for listening.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Have a Molly Christmas, a Molly made Christmas. Give your family a gift of a clean house. When you're looking for professional house cleaning services, you want to make sure that you find a team that can accommodate your budget, schedule, and cleaning preferences. Molly Maid is proud to provide thousands of families across the country with industry-leading services tailored to their specific needs. Call Molly Maid today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So, David, would you say that your not Todd Bowles, what am I saying? Your Robert Saleh thing hinges completely on Tomlin?
Woody Johnson loves Robert Saleh.
But I guess what I'm asking is, like, do you think Tomlin, if he becomes available or something like that, the Jets would get rid of Saleh for Tomlin, even if they're not necessarily out on Saleh? It's just more of what's available.
When the word comes out that Tomlin could potentially be in play, I think Aaron Rodgers goes to Joe Douglas and says, we got a chance to get Mike Tomlin. And I think that's all it takes. The owner flew out to Aaron Rodgers' house to get Aaron Rodgers. I'm just saying I think it's in play with the Jets. I do think, though, that Mark thinks there's 7 other jobs that are opening up. I think there are 8 other jobs opening up. I mean, I think Mike Tomlin is going to be somewhere else.
7 head coaching vacancies, and 3 of them are in the NFC South.
Which would be it's worst division in the league. It makes sense, doesn't it?
No, it totally does. It's just objectively funny because
the guys
never happened before.
So the guys in Atlanta and New Orleans have each gotten 3 years, right? This is the 3rd year for both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
This 3rd year for the guy in New Orleans or the 2nd?
Dennis Allen, I think it's his 3rd because Peyton. When did Peyton leave? When did Breeze retire? Let me look this up. Hold on.
I thought it was his 2nd, but
we have the internet. Mark, you're right. Yeah. It's only a 2nd year for Dennis Allen.
God, it seems like he's been there.
And how long is Art Smith? Art Smith is his 3rd year?
Yeah, he was hired the same year as Campbell.
Okay.
That's my point of reference, by the way. Robert Saleh, Dan Campbell, Arthur Smith.
God. It seems like Dennis Allen has hated Jameis Winston for much longer than that.
Do you know the new Nuggets logo reminds me a lot of the Buffalo Sabres logo?
Yeah, it looks exactly like it.
Kind of like the old Sabres logo. No?
It's because it's got the 2 pickaxes where the swords are, or the sabers are. They should let Bill Belichick trade himself. Hey, Bill, what do you think you're worth?
Man, they just can't run enough Draymond Green. I think I've seen the punch 74 times just this morning.
Imagine that. They're talking the NBA.
Yeah, how does the Draymond Green suspension affect LeBron's legacy, David?
See, now you're catching on, Trent.
But now they're their narrative's all this is the end of Golden State. We're watching the end of a dynasty. It's crumbling in front of us.
I will say, Tim
Legler?
No.
Oh.
The writer for The Athletic. Is it Kamatami?
Okay.
That's not how you pronounce it. He wrote a awesome column 2 days ago in which he says, I'm not saying this is the end of the dynasty, but when it's the end, it will look exactly like this. And he goes on to talk about how, it's Steph and no one else, and Clay looks shot, and Draymond being a jerk, and the young guys that they, needed to come through are not coming through. And it was it was really well done.
Well, it kind of got negated because they won a championship.
Well, no, that's what he said. He said, listen, I was 8 minutes away from declaring the dynasty done a couple of years ago. And then these guys, he goes, so I'm not writing them off until it's obvious. He goes, but I'm just saying, when it's the end of a dynasty, it's going to look exactly like what I just saw Tuesday night.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap today was the day when, and some final thoughts and predictions all coming up in a little more than 15 minutes' time. Miller and Moulton on this Football Friday.
Football Friday.
We mentioned this story 2.5 hours ago. It's worth mentioning again. So there are some politicians in St. Petersburg that want to do with the Rays what happened with the Marlins. They want to change the name of the team. They're like, the team's in St. Pete. It's being financed for by St. Pete and St. Pete's County. Okay? We're not the Tampa Bay Rays. We're the St. Pete Rays.
I'm sorry, David. You explained that beautifully. But if there was ever a time to use we're not the Tampa Bay Rays, we're the St. Pete Rays. I think you missed a golden opportunity.
I'm sorry.
The team is in St. Pete. It's being financed by St. Pete.
As you were talking, that's how I was hearing it. I don't know about anybody else, but this is just a get off my lawn politician grandstanding for some unknown reason, thinking that they're going to get a team name to change.
There's nothing about this team that says they're the Tampa Bay Rays. They're the St. Pete Rays. Just like they're the Miami Marlins.
You're right.
Thank
Mark.
you.
I missed a golden opportunity. The difference is it was actually negotiated. Give the politicians in South Florida credit. I mean, David Sampson helped pull off a $2 billion boondoggle. But while they were being boondoggled, they at least said the name of the team gets changed. Okay? You want the money. You want us to do a few things that might have been illegal. You want us to change some votes. Just so you know, the name of the team's getting changed. And the Marlins were like, yeah, man, whatever it takes to get a stadium. Sure. See, the problem is the St. Pete politicians, they didn't do this because the mayor of St. Pete negotiated the deal. He thinks that the idea is crazy. He's like, no, they're the Tampa Bay Rays. What this needed to be done during the negotiations. We'll give you the money. You got to change the name of the team.
Look, they're not the Gwinnett County Braves. Okay?
They're not the Jersey Jets or Giants.
Right.
Right. I hear you. But remember, the Angels have kind of, they were growing up, you and I followed the
California Angels.
And then they became the
What were they? The
Los Angeles
Angels.
Angels. And then they were the Los Angeles Angels
of Anaheim.
Anaheim, right. And now they're back to being the LA Angels. So I would have, because, well, I'm a jerk. I would have, at this city council meeting, stood up in the back and said,
How about we call them the Tampa Bay Rays of St. Petersburg?
And I would have been laughing because I was the one that passed you the note that said that.
You know, they called them the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Why don't we do the same thing? Very catchy.
So I got to give the Rays credit. As, by the way, they're doing another salary dump. Tyler Glasnow and Manuel Margot, $35 million they're unloading. They'll pick up some of those salaries, but, I mean, not much. It's the Dodgers. That's if Glasnow can work out a contract extension with the Dodgers. And considering that the Dodgers really want to trade for him, my guess is they're going to offer him a lot of money, and he'll say yes.
And despite the fact that they've picked up Ohtani and they've got Betts and all these players, what don't the Dodgers have any of right now?
That would be pitching, Mark. And Glasnow's a pitcher. Even though he's a 30-year-old and he's not very durable, the Dodgers don't seem to care. And the Rays are like, take our money, please. So, but the Rays said, yeah, if you insist on this, the deal's off. Like, seriously. No shovel in the ground, no project, we're gone. In fact, we may go to Tampa and we'll take the Bay off the jersey. Okay? Seriously, we're gone. And then the city council woman said,
I don't really think they're serious. I think that's an overreaction.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yep.
Good luck playing that game of chicken.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was the Rays or the mayor of St. Pete, but I think it was the Rays who said, hey, what part of this do you not understand? It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, they didn't say this, but they could have.
It's not the Tampa Bay Bucks and the Tampa Bay Lightning and the St. Pete Rays, okay?
And if they would have said it, they would have said it exactly like that.
I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal. We'll call them the Tampa Bucks, the Tampa Lightning, and the St. Pete Rays. You like that?
So, there you go. Little story that's out there. Boy, these Florida politicians trying to get involved in sports this week.
Well, and there's another little one. You know, the Inter Miami was going to build their whole project with private money. They've just asked the city for Miami for money.
Huh. That doesn't seem like private money.
It really doesn't.
Oh.
100% private money. We would like some money from Miami.
Now, let me ask you, go back 25 years. What was then Tico and is now Hertz Arena, that was completely financed by, the Carmanos. However, there was some public money, the roads. You had an exit had to be added off I-75, right? I mean, or
no? No, the only public money that came for that arena was after the group had put the arena together and all the plans were there. The county came back and said, you're building a huge building here. What would it take to make it a hurricane shelter?
Gotcha.
There were some structural changes that had to be made. And I want to say it was about $1 million.
Gotcha.
To change it from what it was going to be a hurricane shelter. And Lee County paid for those additions to essentially give them a giant hurricane shelter.
Okay. So the exchanges to and from the interstate and what have you, they were already in place?
They were already in place.
Okay. So I was just wondering, is it by chance, is it something that minor that now the soccer team's like, hey, upon further review, we need about $74? Or is this all of a sudden like, yeah, I know what we said, but
there's overages and we need someone to pay them.
We didn't really mean it.
And besides, when we started this, we didn't have Messi. Now we have Messi, and we
Right.
think you guys should pay for Messi.
Right.
What do you think?
Guessing it's the latter.
Me too.
Yeah. That's the guy who should have owned the Marlins. That's the Jorge Mas guy. They chose Sherman and Jeter's group instead of Jorge Mas. So, all right.
And now he gets the profitable franchise in the deal.
Exactly. Miller and Moulton. Lot of football this weekend. We got 3 games tomorrow. We have 7 bowl games tomorrow. That's not even counting the 2 FCS semifinals. And trust me, when it's raining cats and dogs tomorrow, you'll watch.
Well, one tonight. One of those FCS
Right.
games tonight.
Unfortunately, it's supposed to be a bad game. South Dakota State's a 3-touchdown favorite over, I think it's Albany. South Dakota State, number 1 team in the country, undefeated. I think they're the defending national champs. They whooped up on North Dakota State last year.
The Jackrabbits?
I believe so.
Jackrabbits, Grizzly, and Bison all in action this weekend.
Gotta like the nicknames, though. I mean, it sounds like we play football outside in the frozen tundra.
And don't forget, David likes Montana.
I'm rooting for North Dakota State, but I'm betting against them for the first time in 15 years. Although the funny thing is, both North Dakota State, South Dakota State play in domes. Miller and Moulton. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap taves today? When it's all next.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Have a Molly Christmas, a Molly made Christmas. Give your family a gift of a clean house. When you're looking for professional house cleaning services, you want to make sure that you find a team that can accommodate your budget, schedule, and cleaning preferences. Molly Made is proud to provide thousands of families across the country with industry-leading services tailored to their specific needs. Call Molly Made today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymade.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
David, what you got going on this weekend? Oh, headset isn't on. My bad.
We got paid.
Yeah, I saw that. Although not as much as I was supposed to, because I bill him for commission, and he hasn't paid me yet. And we're going to have a conversation pretty soon about it. Because what's the point of selling if you're not going to pay me? All right, I'm completely frozen. There we go. I don't know if it's worth $5, but that's a pretty damn good shake.
Well, the Dolphins put playoff tickets on sale yesterday at noon.
We got a text. So did the Bucks. And you're required to by the league, according to what the texter said.
The Lions did the same thing. You have to
At a certain date, you have to send it out. You can't not send it out.
No, I'm superstitious. I think it's a bad sign.
And you have to make it available for as far as it could possibly go. Which I know sounds obvious, but like if
so, do you go ahead and buy them right away? Because we did not. I will say this: I did not get one from the Steelers.
No, we did. My brother and I bought ours, and then yeah. I mean, obviously, you get your money back, or you can roll it over into next year's payment if you want to get a head start on that. So there's options, but I have tickets all the way through the NFC Championship game, David.
There you go.
The road to the Super Bowl.
So what are you doing now? Are you going to try to fly back for the game, or are you going to let your brother sell it?
I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I just want to win the division. I just want to win the division, Mark.
No superstition there at all. He's not even. If I were you, the minute they win the division, I'd start looking at Spirit Airline flights to Detroit.
I probably will. I mean, yeah, if
fly up Saturday morning.
If that happens, that's what I'll be doing. Down and back.
Exactly.
Up and down.
Right.
Up and back.
Up and back.
Okay, here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the home stretch for us today and for the week. Be careful. I mean, I don't want to sound like the end of a Hill Street Blues episode or anything, but be careful this weekend. The weather is supposed to be just downright nasty tomorrow. And not that great Sunday morning, potentially. So just take it easy.
Let's be careful out there.
Let's be careful out there. I know we're spending entirely too much time with family, and we don't like each other as much as we should. Okay, but I don't know what to tell you.
That hasn't all started yet. I mean, we're just getting into the spend a lot of time with family.
Well, but we just did the whole Thanksgiving thing like 3 weeks ago. I mean, and now, second Saturday before Christmas. Wait a minute. I got to stay indoors and not do anything? Spend time with, wait for it, family? I thought that wasn't for another like 8, 9, 10 days. Ah, damn. That I'm concerned that could be the overriding feeling. Okay. Plus, also, then what's going to happen? Okay. Last Saturday there was only one college football game, so certain people in the house were like, "Hey, I'm getting a break. There's not football on both days. What do we have tomorrow?" Wall-to-wall football starting in
wall-to-wall football.
Right. Waldwolf.
Good luck to all you men this weekend because everybody's inside. The kids are going to want to watch some sort of streaming version. They need Disney Plus. They need the Netflix. They need something on there.
Yep.
The wife's going to want to watch Christmas Hallmark movies.
And thought that there was no more football on Saturdays. She's going to like, what the heck is this? Mm-hmm.
And you are going to be all in.
Right.
Explaining what a good game North Dakota State and Montana should be.
Honey, North Dakota State's a power, and their coach decided after last week he's going to get up and leave and go be a position coach at USC. Nobody does that. He's making $400,000 in Fargo. You know how far $400,000 goes in Fargo?
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
What's 400,000 the equivalent if you're in Naples? 4 million?
Don't laugh, but I'll bet it's $1.50. 400,000 in Fargo is probably $1.5 million in Naples.
Damn right it is.
How much ranch land could you buy with $400,000? Asking for a friend.
Asking a rancher.
The expert himself.
Trent, let me tell you, 400,000 in Fargo, you could buy a town just north of Fargo.
We start in 1791 when the Bill of Rights is ratified, when Virginia gives its approval. 1874, the first reigning king to visit the U.S. It was the King of Hawaii. That didn't work out so well.
Wait, what?
The first reigning king to visit the U.S. was today in 1874. It was the King of Hawaii.
Huh.
Didn't work out that well for him.
No. What country was he a king of? Hawaii?
Hawaii. What country was the King of Hawaii from? 1925, the first hockey game played at Madison Square Garden found the Canadians defeat the New York Americans 3-1.
See, the Rangers have always lost the Canadians.
1935, the Detroit Lions won the NFL title. I did that for Trent. 26-7 over the Giants.
How many years ago was that?
88.
All right. 88 years later, we're doing it again.
Uh-huh. Right. Gone with the Wind premieres today in 1939.
Never heard of it.
General Eisenhower gets his 5th star today in 44.
Don't you think that's a little overkill?
46, the Bears defeat the Giants for the NFL title in front of 58,000 at the Polo Grounds. It was the last NFL game played at the Polo Grounds.
Hey, if we can go back to Eisenhower for a second. Did you say that was 44?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have to admit, he did engineer a pretty good maneuver there in the late spring. That was big. That was, that June 6th thing, that was big. So, you know what? I know we gave you 4 of these, but we got to give you one more.
Thank you. Folsom Prison Blues, released by Johnny Cash today in 1955. That's staying power.
Yeah.
Kennedy goes to Puerto Rico today in 61. He was the last sitting president to visit Puerto Rico until Obama went there. Trivial Pursuit was developed today in 1979. Dave Winfield becomes the highest paid player today in 1980. A $15 million contract for 10 years.
And Steinbrenner hated it a year later because Winfield was terrible in the 81 World Series, and he wanted to get rid of him ever since.
Bill Parcells becomes the Giants coach today in 82.
Ray Perkins had left to replace Bear Bryant as head coach of Alabama.
The Niners retired Montana's number 16 today in 97. $1 Million Baby premiered in 2004. And Sam Bradford won his Heisman today in 2008.
Came back to play at Oklahoma in 2009, gets hurt right away. Still was the number 1 pick of the draft.
And got paid.
The
last guy before the rookie cap was put in place.
God, that's all Sam Bradford did was get paid.
Alan Freed and Tim Conway both born today. Alan Freed, the disc jockey that popularized the term rock and roll. And Tim Conway was just spectacular in every single aspect of his life.
I don't know if there's any comedian who made more comedians laugh and not be able to keep a straight face than Tim Conway.
That's a great point. Don Johnson, 74 today, and Rodney Harrison's 51. What did I miss, David?
Yeah, you got to admit, Don Johnson looks pretty good for 74.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of Botox, but still. There's a lot going on. So, I don't know if I'll do this in chronological order or not. But, so Schindler's List opened today in 93. I mean, that's a toe tapper. Yeah. Band leader Glenn Miller's plane disappeared over the English Channel today in 44. But Catfish Hunter today becomes Major League Baseball's first free agent in the modern era. Today, 1974. He was ruled a free agent by the arbitrator, because he argued that Charlie Finley failed to live up to the terms of his contract. And the arbitrator said it's quite clear what he has to do, and he didn't do it. Now, remember, Catfish Hunter had just pitched the A's to 3 straight World Series, 72, 73, 74. So, and then Catfish was like, great, now what do I do? He ended up signing a massive contract. Remember, this is arguably the best pitcher of the game. The Yankees signed him for 5 years, $3.75 million. Not per year. 5 years, $3.75 million. Right. Like $775,000 a season. Monster deal. Mm-hmm.
And it was.
Yeah. He played 5 years with the Yankees, helped them win 77, 78 World Series. Died way too young. I think of ALS in the late 90s. Jim Catfish Hunter.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
What we'll do for a dog. We go to the Staten Island Expressway for the good, where a dog escaped from his owner's yard and went running along the roadway. Bean was the name of the dog. Spooked by another dog, took off running. 20 cars slowed down, some stopped on the highway. People jumping out of their cars to find the dog. Finally, when a guy said, "Why is this woman running on the highway?" The dog ran under the car, hit under the tire. He said, "Someone gave me a bag. I scooped him up and put him in the car," and Bean was later reunited with its family. For the bad, we go to Oregon, where I like beer, David. I like blue cheese.
Okay.
But the Rogue Creamery, in conjunction with the Rogue Brewery, are making a blue cheese beer. And everything about that sounds awful to me. Would you drink a blue cheese beer, David?
Oh, no. No. No way.
They should cut a deal with the Packers fans at Lambeau Field because they'd probably drink that.
Boy.
Sick.
Scott, they say it has nuance and complexity, but it's not too cheesy and it's not too strong. It's a really nice balanced product. Makes me want to get sick to my stomach.
It's just right.
You know what that probably would go good with, David? Tuna Mac.
What doesn't?
And for the ugly, we go just up the road to the campus of FGCU, where Nathan Eagleston used rocks and bricks to get through a grate at the bottom of the pump room door, causing water to shoot out of a Westlake Village building. He learned how to get into the maintenance shed from a maintenance worker and decided this was something he had to do before or after he graduated.
Had to do it, huh?
Had to do it. Now he's facing multiple charges, including damage to property, criminal mischief, burglary, and interfering with firefighter equipment.
Moron.
Absolute moron. And he's the winner today in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly on December the 15th, 2023.
Well, we got a little this, little that tonight in the sports world. First off, 8 games in the NBA. The headliner is Orlando at Boston. Do you think it's nationally televised? Hell no. I mean, seriously, 2 of the 4 best teams record-wise in basketball. Top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference. Who are we seeing instead?
Lakers and Spurs?
Right, Lakers and Spurs. The one team's lost 18 straight games. That's the early game. Not Orlando, Boston, mind you. Lakers and Spurs. LeBron will play this one, though. He didn't play Wednesday when these 2 teams played, so he'll play this one. The nightcaps, the Knicks in Phoenix. Boston's won 12 in a row at home, but this is the second of back-to-backs. Orlando had yesterday off. Boston's a 6.5-point favorite. Would you take the Magic in the points tonight?
I would.
Chicago did it to the Heat last night.
Exactly.
The spread was roughly the same. So just throwing that out there. Are the Celtics due to lose one at home? And B, they're playing the second of back-to-back, and the Magic haven't played since what, Monday? I mean, they've been in Boston a while. They're ready for this one because they're playing Friday, Sunday. So they geared up for this. College hoops tonight, 10 o'clock ESPN2. UConn Gonzaga.
That's a really sexy game.
Yeah, a couple of top 10 teams playing a one-off. I like it. 10 o'clock ESPN2. 7 o'clock on ESPN2. FCS semifinal. South Dakota State, the number 1 team in the country, the defending champs. They are 20.5-point favorites over Albany. So there you go. NHL tonight.
6 games, no Florida teams.
Yeah, so there you go.
Your Rangers host the Ducks. They're minus 290.
Tell you what, they have a problem. Their number 1 goalie, arguably the best goalie in the league, Shesterkin, not playing like a number 1 goalie right now. And the other guy, Jonathan Quick, the Hall of Famer, he's playing like the best goalie in the league. So it's a little interesting situation going on. How long do you stick when you're number 1 goalie when he's going through a slump?
Well, and by all counts, they're playing Quick tonight, who's 8-0-1 on the season.
So there you go. That's what we got going on. 3 NFL games tomorrow, 7 college bowl games, and an FCS semifinal. I mean, that's 11 football games tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's going to be pouring. You're not going to be able to go outside. 11 football games.
Tip the delivery drivers a little more tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to. You got to take care of your DoorDash guy. You got to take care of, was it Drizzle, the liquor company that delivers Drizzly
yeah.
that delivers liquor? I've never used them, so I apologize for botching the name.
I used it one time. I used it in Carolina after my family just witnessed Detroit lose to the Panthers, and I got 2 monster cases of beer. Needed every last ounce.
How do you think Trent's going to handle life if the Lions lose to the Broncos?
They're not losing.
It'll be Saturday night too.
So nervous. I'm having more fun watching him. Every time we bring up the Lions negatively, he just cringes over there in his seat.
They're going to win this game.
Miller and Moulton. We'll have all of the NFL games to talk about Monday morning, 6 a.m. Have a great weekend.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI,